episode 204 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen
and Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our virtual book club, where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So this week we thought we'd talk about playlists that come with books. Lately, it seems like before the book starts, I find it more in like independently published books but I feel like publishers are now starting to put it in because it's popular.
Which is always how it goes.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of started with like, it'd be a few, like, before the book started, it'd be like, here's the chapter breakdown, here's the playlist, here's the, like, dedication. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on playlists? Like, do you listen to them? What do you...
So, I actually remember the first book that I picked up. It was actually not that long ago. I think it's only been, like, maybe 3 years ago that I first picked up a book that had, like, a playlist on the inside. Yeah. And it was King of, the first one in that series.
Yeah.
Is it King of
Anna
Wrath?
Hung.
Yeah. King of Wrath, I think, or King of Envy. No, it's not Envy.
No, not Envy. I
feel
like it's Envy. Wrath.
Yeah, I think Wrath is correct.
I think everything starts with Wrath.
Yeah. So that was my first sort of, like, introduction to, like, that sort of idea. Mm-hmm. And I love the idea in theory.
Yeah.
However, I have two sort of issues with it. My first issue is... Actually, I have 3 issues with it.
Okay.
My first issue is, like, I will say, some authors have, like, the playlist done up on their Spotify, and you just have to find it and then play it, which is great.
Yeah, love
Other authors do not, which means I then have to curate the playlist on my own.
Which I'm never going to do.
I'm not going to do that.
But usually somebody else will do it on Spotify if the author hasn't.
And then share it.
But still.
My other issue is that it's a usage problem for me. Like, I don't understand how to use... Because, like, you'll find that all the songs are very different because a book goes through a wide range of emotions. Like, usually the ones we're reading, there's, like, the meet cute, there's romance, there's heartbreak, like, there's the reconciliation. There are all these things. So, obviously, the songs are going to be very different depending on where you are in the book.
100%.
So, like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do with the playlist. Am I just supposed to listen to the entire playlist as I'm reading the book?
Yeah.
Or is it a solo experience where I listen to the playlist after I've read the book and it's supposed to give me sort of the same highs and lows sort of a situation?
Or before as like this is what's gonna read. Yeah.
Or is it there are songs for specific scenes that I should be pressing play on during those scenes? Because I will be honest with you, I believe that music makes emotion. Like, when you are watching a movie, if you were to watch that with no music whatsoever, you would never cry. But, like, the music legit makes you cry. So, I was really excited to get that experience in a book, right? So when I first opened King of Wrath and there was like a playlist, I was like, amazing. I have my phone ready. I have my Spotify open. I was like, okay, when am I going to play the song? And I thought maybe at like the top of a chapter, it would be like, play this song. Or like, you know, there would be instructions enclosed.
Yeah.
And there are not.
No.
There never are.
No.
Like, it's almost like, you know how those, like, back in the day, we had those Goosebump books, and it was like a choose-your-own-adventure book, and, like, it would be like, if you want this to happen, go to page whatever. If you want this to happen, go to page whatever. I almost wanted that with the playlist. Yeah. Be like, okay, starting now, play this song. And then I would sort of get that movie moment
Yeah.
in book form. And I was so excited for it. And that's just not the reality. So I don't understand the usage of it, which is a huge, like, I never use the playlist because that frustrates me so much.
Yeah. I don't remember which book, so that's unfortunate. But I did read a book once that said which chapter to put on which song. So it had the playlist, and then beside the names of the song, it would say which chapter. I never think it's going to be the same experience, though, because people read at such different speeds. You're not going to be exactly where you should be when the thing happens, when the crescendo happens in the song. Like, it's never going to match up perfectly.
Yeah. Which is another issue that I have with it, too. Like, yeah.
100%, yeah.
If the intention is that you listen to the playlist while you're reading the book, like, I literally watched a girl on TikTok read a book in, like people we meet on vacation, like a hefty, like, 350-page book in, like, 4 hours.
Yeah.
And, like, I can read quickly, but not that quickly. No. So, like, but, like, playlists genuinely are very short, usually. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's, like, 12 to 15 songs on a playlist. That's, like, what, 2 hours of listening? Maybe?
At most.
At most,
yeah.
Depending on the song. So,
it's, like one CD from back in our day.
But that's sort of what I mean. Like, I that's sort of why I'm like, what is the point of the playlist? Like, why are you including it? Like, I would I just need that perspective.
Yeah, I agree. I will say, the first time I ever remember anything to do with a playlist was actually Twilight. Because when Twilight came out, Stephanie Meyer had her, like, webpage up, and she had all of the songs, like, she had a playlist of all of the songs she listens to while she was writing. And it was very similar to what the soundtracks for the movies ended up being, which are my favorite, probably, movie soundtracks in existence. I fucking love them. I still listen to the first one often because I just think it's great. But, like, it was just a lot of, like, Muse, Paramore, like, the same music. So that's the first time I remember seeing a playlist to go along with a book. But it was a bit different, I guess. And I think when the most recent Fourth Wing book came out, Rebecca Yarros released a playlist that she wrote to, so songs she listened to while she was writing. She released that before the book came out, kind of as like a teaser, which I like that idea. I like that, like, this is what I listened to while I was writing, and then people are, like, going feral over the songs. Like, what does this mean? Like, I think that's fun. I don't really look into it that deeply. I'll, like, listen to it and be like, this is a badass playlist.
Yeah.
I enjoy that, but yeah, I'm the exact same way, and I don't know if it's our, like, our personalities or what, but, like, I need instructions. If you're going to give me, I need you to be like, this is where it should crescendo, like, start playing.
Yeah, and maybe it is our personalities. Like, we do, both of us love, like, we need to be told XYZ.
Yeah.
Please and thank you. Like, I can't help it.
No, I just need specific instructions. I need you to tell me what I should be doing. Like, that's what I need. Yeah.
It's why I think why I like puzzles and, like, those book nook little housey scene things. Like, there are instructions and, like, Legos and shit. Like, I love following the instructions.
Yeah. I just did a Lego. I love it. It's a bamboo.
I got wildflowers for my birthday.
Oh, I love the flower ones. They're expensive, though.
Yeah, my sister...
As gifts.
Yeah, my sister got me... I think she got it for me. So she got me the wildflower Lego, but then she also got me, like, the Secret Garden, sort of like the vase I gave you, like, that looks like a book.
Yeah,
so
cute.
She got me the Secret Garden, and so she was like, you can put your wildflower Legos in the Secret Garden vase, so...
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they are just, like... You do need a vase for them. Like, Lily got the roses, and they're beautiful, but it's like, they're just
loose flowers, yeah.
Loose flowers. I'm like, I need you to give me a vase to build, too. What the fuck is this? I need every step.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think playlists can be fun. I don't normally use them if they're in a book.
No, because
I might turn it on.
We need better instructions.
Yeah. I might turn it on while I'm reading, but then I just ignore it completely.
Yeah.
It doesn't give the feeling that I think is promised. And you know what? Maybe that's why it's not it's not in as many mainstream books. But I do feel like it is moving in. Yeah. It started independently kind of. Or like inside of the books, I feel like I saw it in independent books first.
Yeah.
Because like I said, the first time I did see it was Twilight, which was when I was a teenager, in the kitchen of my parents' house on the one computer we had, looking at Sarah J. Maas's website.
I'm not gonna lie, I remember where that computer was in your parents' house.
Yes. So funny. Yeah, so that's our chat for today. As always, a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone, but it's our last week with this book, so there shouldn't be that many spoilers. And things might get saucy.
They are immediately saucy.
Yeah, because last week we left off at some sauce.
Yeah, we literally left off in the middle of the scene. Like,
yeah. Basically cucked all y'all.
Yeah, they're one night together. This is it.
No, it's like the beginning of their one night together. Because I think I said last week, if they don't actually penetrate, it's not their one night.
Although, like, I hate that because lots of people have sex without penetration. So
exactly, but I think it's them making it yeah. I don't agree with it, but it's their rule, it seems like.
Do you know what I saw somewhere, sort of off topic, but I feel like it was some sort of, like, LGBTQ, like, film or, like, TV show or something. Mm-hmm. Or, like, I can't remember exactly what it was, but someone said, what constitutes sex? Mm-hmm. And the other person said, when both people get off.
So
that's it.
That's not. So a lot of straight people aren't having sex.
Valid
just gonna say it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's our fourth and final week with Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco. This week we're reading chapters 53 to 71. Last week, like we kind of said, we completely ended off on, mid-sexcapades in the throne room. Camilla walked in on Envy and Vittoria. I don't know, she was trying to get him hard, but he couldn't. Unless he was thinking of
Yeah, he needed to
Camilla.
Close his eyes and imagine Camilla.
Yeah. Normal shit. So Vittoria walked in on that. She was jealous. Then he was jealous because Wolf had talked to her. Envy was trying to figure out the last clue, and he thought Vittoria had it. But while he was doing this, Camilla actually figured out the last clue herself by visiting Wolf. And it's the pillars that we saw week 1 or 2, and we were like, this will definitely come up again. And it has. But after all the jealousy, they just start making out, and then they're like, let's have our one night in the throne room. That can't be comfortable, but okay. So he's literally, I think at this point, lying on the ground in front of his throne, and she's on top of him. But I'm just like, okay. And he just destroys her dress. Yeah, that's the last thing he did. And he thinks that he'll make her dark fantasies come true tonight. And that's exactly where we ended off last week, which was like mid it all. So this week we start with Camilla's point of view, and she's just grinding on him. And he calls her devastating and asks her to say his true name when she comes. And I thought that this was going to come up. Like, I thought that her knowing his true name was going to be a big deal later, and that she was going to be tortured and have to tell somebody, and that it was going to be this whole thing.
Yeah, but we're at the end of the book.
I know, but a lot happens. I expected something to come of this. I was like, why are you telling her your true name?
And why is it so stupid?
So she's shocked, but she thinks maybe he wants to feel less alone. But we get that his true name, because I think earlier Pride called him Levi. We did get his full name on the tree.
Wrath called him Ethan.
Okay. Yes.
And then we see Levi Ethan on the tree, which so we learned that like his actual name is Levi Ethan, but not Leviathan.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like I listened to some of the book like I normally do, and this part is said like he says his name as Levi Ethan, like two separate names in this part in the audiobook.
Right.
But then later on, when she comes and says his name, she says it Leviathan. Like, she says it like one name.
Oh.
It's really weird.
Inconsistent.
So, Leviathan, almost. She does say his name like that. But he says it completely separate. And she even says, like, two names. But I guess when she's in the throes of passion, she's just like, Leviathan.
Yeah, you really have to be conscious about how you're, like, saying that name, because it's weird.
Because it's, yeah. So, it was confusing. But, anyway, I just thought that this was going to be something. And it doesn't really come back. So, she just, like, slowly lowers on him, because he's huge. And then after...
Can I just say... I read these books all the time, and, like, the guys are always huge.
Yeah.
And the girl has to, like, slowly, like, accept him. And, like, no matter what position, like, whether he's on top or she's on top, I always think of the logistics and how unrealistic it is. Because, like, I'm sorry, there's no way a girl is on top, starts to lower, and has to stop to, like, adjust to the fullness of him. And then sink down a little bit more and adjust again. And then, like, it takes, like, 5 minutes before he's seated fully inside of her, quote unquote. But, like, how sore would your thigh muscles be?
Exactly.
Like, it's not possible for you to, like, you can't. You just can't. So I'm sorry, that's what it gets me, like, because I feel like every single book I've read lately, like, has, like, the guy slowly, like, just the tip.
Yeah.
And then, she has to adjust and reacclimate, to, like, how it feels. And then he puts it in a little bit more and a little bit more, like...
Yeah.
I just don't...
I know.
I don't believe that.
I just... just use lube. Get some lube on it. Like, it'll be easier.
They never use lube.
They do not. Ever.
Except with anal.
Yeah.
I've read the books where they, like, get the lube out for the anal.
Yeah.
But then I've also read books where they don't get the lube out with anal, and instead he just, like, spreads, like, the juice from the front, spreads it to the back, and that's enough. And I'm like, that's not enough.
No. This one, though, I can a bit forgive this book. I feel like I say this every book. But if you are Envy, your cock has to be something that people will be envious of.
Yeah.
But also, weren't we not sure if she was a virgin at one point?
Yes.
Like, we know that she blew Wolf, but I wasn't sure if she actually had sex with him.
Well, I think it's clear now she did.
She must have, because there's no talk about any of this. So she must have had sex with Wolf.
Yeah.
Wild. Not wild that she had sex, but just wild that she's just, like, had sex once. This is her second time ever having sex, apparently. And she's just, like, the biggest dick that's ever existed. And they're like, it's fine. And she, like, they have sex 5,000 times. And it's like, you'd be sore. Yeah. This dick is huge.
Yeah, but again, she's Faye, so quick healing.
True. That's a good point. Fine, I buy it.
Okay, thank you.
So, he flips her over, and then he's just, like, teasing her until she's pleading, because, like, need to make her super wet, because he's so big. Mm-hmm. And then he pushes into her a bit at a time until he's fully in.
Seated inside her, yep.
Yep. And she's never felt more alive. Oh, God. And she thinks that no one will ever compare. And, like, snowflakes start to fall because that's Envy's power, ice and snow.
Oh, but because the colder, the more powerful.
Oh, true, yes.
Right? So, like,
yeah.
So she's, like, I guess she's given off envy and jealousy because she's like, no one's ever going to compare to this.
Yeah. And I think he's envious that she's thinking of someone else in this moment, which is a bit, like, fair.
Yeah.
And she doesn't say it out loud, but he just says, like, he knows what she thought.
Yeah, he can read thoughts, or, like, I think. Or he could read, like, emotions and, like...
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know. I breezed past this, to be honest. I was concerned with other things. Like...
Yeah. But he says that no one will ever touch her again, or he'll kill them.
I love that.
Like, of course. And they're both possessive, and she wants more, and he's branding her body, and he's branding her heart. Blech. And she wants him to remember this night as much as she will, and she says, wait. And he just immediately stops because he's a consent king. And she says that she wants to fuck him on his throne. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'm into that. But she's doing it because she wants him to think of her every time he's sitting in the throne. Which, you know sense. What? I love it. Yeah. I'm like, good job, queen.
Well, and, like, he does.
I know. Like, yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. So he sits on his throne, and she sits on him, looking out, reverse cowgirl. And she just, like, sinks on him, and he's deeper this way than he was. And they're frantic and feral, and he touches her, and she orgasms and yells his true name. And then he comes, and because he came, she immediately comes again. Okay, fine.
Does he have magic sperm that do that? Also, like, where is the birth control? She can have kids. She can get pregnant.
Next book, she's pregnant.
But, like, I wonder,
there's no talk of it.
Can demons have kids? Like, well, I guess they can, because earlier that woman that had the triplets had triplets, so.
Yeah, you're so smart. Yes. They didn't talk about it in the trilogy either, did they?
Not really, no.
There wasn't a whole lot of sex. Because it started...
Yeah, not until,
it started YA. Yeah. Interesting. Didn't think of it at all.
Yeah, like, they have sex so many times, and, like, is there no form of birth control? Can you just decide, no thank you?
To turn that off.
Yeah. Is that, like, a setting, like...
Maybe his dial. Magic, he's able to shoot blanks.
That would be super convenient.
It would be so convenient. Guys.
Although at the same time, it would also lead to, like, a lot of, like, oh yeah, I'm definitely shooting blanks right now. Yeah,
you'd have to trust somebody, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Always wrap it up.
Or double wrap it.
Don't, because then it can actually make it worse if you double wrap it, because they can, like, rub against each other and then, like, break the... So, yeah, one condom. Always use.
So it's really funny, because I read this series. It's called, like, the Mountain Man series. It's by Gemma Weir. Very smutty. Like, you know, like, extremely smutty.
Was it a KU read?
Yeah, no, actually, it was not. I don't think. Like, I think I read, like, a synopsis. I purchased, like, they're only, like, I think maybe, like, $4 or $5 each. Yeah. So I purchased the series. Mm-hmm. Unless it's on KU now. But,
I don't know.
Like, there's definitely red flags. Like, you need to read it with, like, going in, like, this is, like, there's
non-consent and stuff.
It's not non-consent. It's, like, extremely possessive alpha hole.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not leaving you. Yes, I'd like you to leave me alone. No way, Jose. Like, they don't say that. Anyway, so it's just hilarious because it's about these, like, it's about seven, I think, brothers. And it's, like, insta-love. Like, they see her, that's my woman. I'm not, like, saying, I'm not, like, she's mine. I'm not taking no for an answer sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And so, so the guys, they meet the woman and she's like, they're like in the throes. And it's every single book, some variation of the same thing happens.
Of course.
They're like about to have sex for the first time. And she's like, you should get a condom. And he's like, no, I'm going to ride you bare. And she's like, no, thank you. Like, we need to be safe. And he's like, I have never been bare with a woman before. I've always double wrapped it every single time.
Ew.
And that's what they say. Like, every single brother, I've double wrapped every single time. And you're the only woman I'm ever going to be bare with.
That sounds like a lie. That sounds like you're lying. Why are you lying?
Yeah. But I've, like, the books are really, like, they're definitely good, but, like, again, like, definitely, like, open mind. Like, I think I read one of them, and he saw his girl, met her for the first time on the road, and was like, well, she's mine. And, like, he one day, like, gets her all worked up. And so, like, she's a bit damp.
Yeah.
So she takes her underwear off and she's wearing a skirt. But it's, like, not an indecent skirt.
Yeah.
And, like, then he takes her for lunch and realizes she has no panties on. Mm-hmm. And he flips his lid and he brings her into, like, the back into the closet and essentially, like,
has his way with her.
Yeah, goes, and he's furious, and he's like, you will wear these panties or I will, like, destroy you, essentially. Like, so, like, it's that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit obsessive, controlling, dominant male, like.
Yeah.
But they have their time and place.
Yeah. Just double wrapping the friction caused between two condoms could break them, and you're less safe than with one. So don't double wrap, people. It's one thing that I remember from, I think, health class. So
I did not learn that. I didn't learn anything in health class.
You know what? I don't know if it was health class or somewhere else.
I learned nothing.
Yeah, I think you said that you weren't there though. You missed it because you were on a trip or something?
We had this conversation. Yeah, when I was in the 5th grade, but, like, they weren't talking about condoms and stuff in 5th grade. That was more, like, the biology of each, like, part and what it does. Not... Yes. I don't think it went into specifics. Yeah. And I actually asked my mom about this after, and I was like, I missed that talk. We never discussed it at home. Like, why? Yeah. Like, what were you thinking? Like, realistically, what were you thinking? And she was like, she was like, I just found that it would be awkward. I'm like,
if you can't have that conversation with your child, you shouldn't have kids. Obviously, I don't know. My parents also couldn't have that conversation with me. But, like, that should be something that you you can do before you're, like, you have to talk to your kids about that.
Yeah. Like, so, like, I very distinctly remember, and I know we're getting way off topic, but, like, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I very distinctly remember being in the 7th grade, and I had not yet started my period. I don't think I started until I was in the 9th grade. Mm-hmm. So I was in the 7th grade. I might have been in the 8th grade. But we were in the change room getting ready for gym class. And I remember everybody was talking about their periods. Being like, oh, yeah, I started today, or I started yesterday. And like, oh, I don't start for another couple of weeks, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And there were 16 girls in my class. I very distinctly remember, because I was in French immersion. 16 girls, 4 boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Very, like, odd, like, skewed numbers there. So we were all just in there talking, and I remember saying, oh, well, I haven't started mine yet. Mm-hmm. And I very, like, clearly remember, and I remember exactly who said it to me. One of the girls said to me, oh, my God, you're golden. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, you can go around and, like, have sex now, and there are no repercussions. You could just have sex and not get pregnant. Go out and do it. And I'm
Except
like...
for STIs.
Well, but, like, that's the thing. Like, I was 13. Yeah. And I had another 13-year-old telling me that I could go out and have sex without getting pregnant, and I should therefore do it.
Which is, like, if you had sex and then started your period, like... If you're around the time you're starting your period, I don't know, could you end up getting pregnant?
Could. I don't know.
I would think so, because the first time you have your period, it's like, could you... I wonder if you could get pregnant and never have your first period. You know what I mean? Like, if you were on your first cycle ever, and then your period is the end of that cycle... So you never get a first period.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't do that.
Well, I mean, I wasn't cool enough to do that. Like, I don't think... I don't even know if I would have found somebody, like...
Yeah.
If I would have found... Now, I'm sure I could have gone out and found somebody, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't know. Like...
Yeah.
But still. Like...
It's bad advice.
It's not great advice, but that was literally the first sexual advice I got.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that the vaginal canal existed. I thought the urethra and the vaginal canal were the same thing until I actually started my period and was a couple months into it, wanted to try out a tampon because everyone at school was talking about how gross pads were, and that's what I was using.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I should probably try a tampon, and I was trying to insert it and didn't know how. I was literally trying to put it where I felt pee coming from, because that's where I thought everything else came from. I had to call my aunt, who was only 9 years older than me, so she was like the cool end, and in her like early 20s, who had to then draw me a diagram.
Yeah.
And like, I literally spoke to my mom about this like 2 weeks ago. I was like, why would you not tell me these things? She was like, it was just awkward. Like, I didn't want to have those conversations because they're awkward and like whatever. And I'm like, mother... You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's awkward, but the conversation still needs to happen.
Yeah. And I know, like, they grew up and it didn't happen. I assume their parents didn't talk to them about it. And that's why they, like...
Yes, you're right. And she did say that. She said, my mom never spoke to me about it. And I'm like...
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Wild times.
Sorry, I know that was way off topic, but like...
Yeah, that's our sex advice for you. You can get pregnant before your first period, I assume, based on biology.
Yeah.
I haven't looked it up, but I think that that's a possibility, because your period is just the shedding of the lining, isn't it?
Yes,
like,
the shedding of...
So, like...
The shed, like, when you're... That's what happens, your uterine... I just did this in health class with my kids. Like, your uterine walls thicken so that it makes it easier for the egg to implant once it's fertilized. Mm-hmm. So then, if no egg implants, then it sheds. The thickened lining sheds.
So, theoretically, that first period... Yeah, you could get pregnant before your first period.
Yeah, like, if your first period coming up.
Yeah. And you have sex. Yeah. So don't... Bad advice. 1. 2, STIs. 3, don't double wrap it. That's our takeaways, sex ed. Because that's apparently what this podcast is now. The sex ed podcast. This is health class.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So, back to them having sex. He says she kisses like a saint, but fucks like a deviant. It's just so funny. Some of the things they say to each other kill me. Dawn is coming soon, and she thinks like they need to get to the next clue, but he gets hard again. And I guess they've only come, well, she's come twice and he's come once, but like, she's just like, okay, we need to worry about the clue. But he's just like, nope. And they have, like, make gentle love together. And it's like, oh, okay, we're just going to ignore the game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then he tells her to watch how hard he makes her come. And there's, like, a mirror right in front of her that she didn't notice before. And he touches her, and then she closes her eyes, so he slaps her clit, and I'm like, ow. And tells her to watch. And he tells her to come for him. And she tries to hold off, but she comes, and she yells out his true name again, and he comes, and he shouts her name.
Woo.
And then we go to Envy's point of view. And then we get that after all of that, Camilla rode him twice more on his throne and called his true name out again. And then he bent her over the throne. And then he brought her to his room for one more time. That became 3. So we just got them having sex twice to completion. And then it happened 6 more times.
It's a lot of sex.
Yes. And I guess that's the Fae and the demon in
Fae,
them.
demon, stamina.
Yeah. But now it's late morning and they're on his bed, and she says that they need to get out of bed, but he isn't done. And he thinks he must have denied himself for too long. That's why he wants her so much. Fuck off.
I will say that I do love that he's just like, because he knows that they're a one night and done. Like, he's, you know, that's his rule. One night, and then that's it. He can never have her again. So, like, I love that he's like, if we don't get out of bed, the night's not over. So I'm pretty sure it's like late afternoon. They're like still
before
in
they
bed.
do anything. Exactly.
It's like, I just need to stay in bed with her, and it still counts as the one night.
I know,
like,
it's so funny.
So if night falls again, does it still count as one night if you just don't
because they didn't stop? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So he's basically ready to go, but she says that they have to go, and she calls him Envy, and he's like, oh, because it's not his true name.
Like,
and
why would she want to get used to calling him that? Because then what if she slipped up and said it in front of another person?
Exactly.
Like, he should be like, thank God.
Yeah, but he's like, we're not done with the sex part. And he's just like, why? And she's like, our one night is over. And I don't even know what that means, so I'm going to ignore it. But she basically just says that they agreed to one night and asks if he wants to renegotiate. And he just says, of course not. He'll never break his rule. And she says, we'll see. And then she says maybe she'll get with Wolf for their long, immortal lives. Because, like, yeah, he did say earlier that she wouldn't get with anyone else or he'd kill them.
Yeah.
But he's also saying after one night they're done.
So what?
So
now she has to be celibate for the rest of her life? I don't think so.
Her rest of her immortal life? Like, what?
Not cool.
Idiot. And she's just like, so obviously you're going to be unaffected by that, right? And she just walks away from him. And he feels jealousy, of course. Later, he still wants her. And he knows he'll think of her when he sits on his throne. Which was exactly her point, and I love it. Like, mastermind game work there.
Yeah.
And he thinks that she would thrive here. But he's not sure how he'd find it if she lived, I guess, in the Seven Circles. Because
she's too close.
He's never going to have sex with her again. And then I guess this was all him thinking back on what they did, because now they're in a throne room that isn't his, and they're being announced to His Majesty and the Queen, and it's Wrath and Amelia, which I love them.
Yeah, we know them quite well.
Yeah. So Envy winks at Amelia because he thinks he needs to get some jealousy from Wrath because he needs to restore, like, his powers back up.
And he's like, if there's one person I can count on to be jealous as fuck, it's Wrath.
Yeah. So, but obviously him flirting with Amelia pisses Camilla off too. So she stiffens beside him, and he thinks that he should have told her that they were going to see Victoria's twin. And he really should have.
Probably. Because
she doesn't for sure know that this is a different person.
Yeah.
So he then calls her Lady Amelia to be like, hey, this isn't Victoria. Yeah. And they talk about him sending her a replica of the portrait of him that was, like, on the ceiling of his bedroom that we heard about in the trilogy.
Yeah, I think he's, like, naked or something like that, and he's, like, riding something, like, it's a very, like, masculine,
sexually explicit.
Yeah, sexually charged image.
Yeah, and I think in the trilogy he was like, you can sleep here and look at that to get yourself off, basically, which was fun. Obviously she didn't because she was in love with Wrath, but, like, you can still, it's a picture. Anyway, so Wrath just says that Envy and Camilla spent the night together. And it's like, you're such a busybody, man.
Yeah. Mind your beeswax.
But Camilla says that she ought to offer Wrath a portrait. Yeah. And I love it. I'm like, yeah, do it. Paint one yourself. This is amazing.
But, like, also,
although I feel bad for Amelia.
So, like, I didn't immediately, like, yes, obviously there's the undertones of suggestion.
Yeah.
But, like, also, she is an artist, so, like, it doesn't have to be a sexually explicit portrait. It could just be, like, a nice picture.
Yeah.
Nice landscape, even.
Yes. But Envy tells her then that he's never fucked Amelia, or she'd be his princess instead of Wrath's. And obviously that makes Wrath feel envy, which is good for Envy. And then Wrath's wings come out, and Envy thinks, like, they don't have the silver flames that they used to. And we get it in a little bit that Envy knows it's because, and we know it's because in the trilogy, Wrath gave up, like, half of his power to Amelia because she gave up her power to save him, and he gave her half of his power, so his wings aren't silver anymore.
Yeah, they're, like, dark now.
Because of that. They're just black. But it's just showing us that Envy also knows that that's a thing. So then Camilla asks if Envy always shares nude photos with other women. And Amelia just says that she likes Camilla, which I love. And she asks how Camilla's doing here. And Camilla says, like, aside from meeting Victoria, it's been interesting. And then Envy's just, like, says that he has a request, and Wrath just immediately says no. Which I love.
That's because he's annoyed because Envy keeps provoking Amelia.
Yeah, it's great. And this is when he looks at the wings and says he sacrificed for Amelia, but he is also jealous of his brother's wings. And he thinks that, like, all of the brother's wings were also taken, but Envy currently doesn't have enough power to summon his wings. So he's jealous that Wrath can just have his wings out.
But, like, this is sort of what I don't understand. So, like, Envy says, like, all of the brothers' wings were taken.
Mm-hmm.
But we know that his Envy's aren't taken.
I think they all got them back when Wrath got his back in the trilogy.
I don't think so. Because didn't he say all of their wings were taken? So I took that to assume that each book now is going to be like the story of how the brother gets his wings back.
But he doesn't. He has his wings. He just doesn't have enough power to.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
use them.
saying. That's why I'm. That's my point.
Yeah.
Says
So
all the brothers' wings were taken. So that means except for his, because his were not taken because he doesn't have enough power to take them out. Because he hid. Do we know like what? I keep forgetting like what we've figured out and what we haven't. We know the story. Do we know the story of why his kingdom is cursed? Have we gotten that story yet?
No, okay. Not yet.
Well, I guess we'll talk about it when it shows up.
Yeah. I kind of assumed, and maybe we won't really know until we read another book, but I assumed that everybody got their wings back when Wrath broke the curse. But I don't know if that's true or not. But I feel like I won't know the reality of it until we read another book.
Yeah. I thought that Wrath's curse was just Wrath's. I didn't think that it had anything to do with any of the other brothers.
Yeah.
But I don't
know. You'd think it would have something to do with pride, but it didn't really explicitly say. I just, why did they all lose their wings then?
Yeah. Anyway, I do have Throne of Secrets. It is sitting on my step. I will be reading it forthwith.
On your step?
Yeah. It
just showed up all...
No, I placed it there.
Okay.
And I just have not yet moved it
from
the
yeah.
to the bookshelf.
Not outside on your front step.
No. Inside.
Yes, okay. That's what I was like, maybe you should take it out. It's kind of snowy out there and wet. Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, maybe you should go get it. So Envy just goes on and asks for his request. He asks for access to the twin pillars. And again, Wrath says no. And Envy says it's for the game and that he'll get there one way or another and that Wrath can't bar him. And Wrath says that he can because they sit below his court. And Envy steps forward because obviously he's pissed, but Camilla stops him. And Amelia asks where the pillars are. And Wrath says that the entry is in the Crescent Shallows. And Amelia, we know from the trilogy, is the goddess Fury. Mm-hmm. And this makes her furious because she didn't know about the pillars. And I don't know, I'm kind of like, you're in a magical world. You can't know everything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know now.
You're not gonna, there's gotta be a million secrets in this court. You're not gonna figure everything. He might have even forgot about the pillars until right now. There's so much going on. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of like, you can't just be, but she is Fury, so maybe, that's her default emotion. So it's like, okay, fine. Anyway. And then she asks what other surprises they house, and Wrath just says nothing. And I'm like, well, that's stupid, too. Obviously, there are other surprises.
Yeah. There's definitely more.
Set her expectations right, and she won't be pissed like this. Envy snorts, and Amelia just asks why. And Envy asks if she remembers the howl in the garden that he told her not to worry about. And I don't remember this, but clearly it's a callback to the trilogy. I don't remember them being... Maybe when he brought her back to... he didn't bring her back to Wrath. Anyway, they heard a howl, and he told her not to worry.
Yeah, I don't really remember it either. I feel like... Because weren't they kidnapped together? Her and Envy?
Yeah.
Were in a cell together for a bit?
Yeah, but so that was underneath the forest, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm wondering if maybe when they got out and they got back... Maybe she heard something. Maybe it was around then.
But I think they went straight to Pride after that.
I don't know.
Listen. This is a callback to the trilogy. I can't remember exactly what. I'm sure it happened. I just don't remember.
Yeah.
But we basically get now that howl was Abyssus, and he was guarding the path to the pillars, and he feeds on goddess blood. And I'm like, that's the exact opposite of her not having to worry. That's exactly when she should worry because she's a goddess. I'm like, okay. And And she just asks why she doesn't know this. And Wrath says it's not something anyone outside of his court is supposed to know.
But I mean...
I'm like, yeah, but she's inside your court.
She's the queen.
Yeah. But I think he's kind of saying that Envy shouldn't know it. So Envy shouldn't be the one telling her about it. But it's like, yeah, you should have told her. And then Envy says that he doesn't need to enter the tunnel. But Wrath says he doesn't want him near the Well of Memory. So I guess that's another entrance. And Envy says he'll swear a blood oath not to touch any of the memories, but Wrath refuses.
Yeah, the Well of Memory we did get in the trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just seems like anybody can just go in there and throw in a memory that they took out and don't want to remember. But then, like, all of these memories are just in a hole that anyone can go to. Yeah. I guess not anyone can go to because it's in Wrath's. But it's just like, Wrath could just listen to all of these memories and just know things, know everybody's secrets.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem smart. So, Envy asks if he still has the queen's favor. And he thinks, like, she's in his debt a little bit. I don't really remember why either, but this is from the trilogy. Like, apparently when she got married, he made a joke that she was in his debt. I just don't remember why.
Well, because I think they figure out, I don't know, I think they figure out that he sort of orchestrated the whole thing and, like, found her or something like that, didn't he?
I don't remember. But anyway, he did something for her in the trilogy. And he doesn't really want to, like, he doesn't want to use her right now because he's like, oh, we're finally becoming friends, like, yeah. And he's like, I'll never get cannolis again. But I guess, like, she's kind of forgiving, but she says that she can't give him her favor yet, but her and Wrath will discuss it, and then they'll get back to Envy. And then Wrath, like, dismisses them, and they go to a suite. And Envy is super antsy. And Camilla says there are better things they could be doing in their suite while they wait. And he's like, it's so stupid. I get that he has this one night thing, but it's also like, dude, just have sex in the suite right now. Like, you know, you're convinced she's going to go back to Waverly Green soon, so just, like, do it. But then he starts thinking about how the issue isn't the rule, it's that he likes her. And he just says fuck, and she says that's the suggestion, which I love how witty she is. Yeah. So then Amelia knocks at the door, and Amelia, like, looks at Camilla and says that she grants permission for them to seek the pillars, but Wrath has one condition, that they must use the path that goes through the Crescent Shallows. And Envy thinks, like, that's exactly what he wanted to avoid. Because, and we got the Shallows in the trilogy too, but the Shallows force you to tell the truth while you're in them. And nothing made can enter them. So you're going to be naked and you're going to have to tell the truth. And then Amelia tells Envy not to be an ass, or there won't be any cannolis in his future, which I love. And Amelia also says that she hopes to see Camilla again, and they'll leave the demons to brood together, and then they can just, like, hang out. Which I do love that idea. Yeah. I'm glad that they seem friendly.
Yeah, we need friends.
Yeah, but Envy just thinks, like, after the game, Camilla's going to go back to Waverly Green, so, like, plans like that don't really matter. Ugh. Right? And then Amelia gives Envy a vial and tells them to go before Wrath loses his cool. So they go down to the Shallows, and Camilla just, like, walks towards them and calls them beautiful, and he has to, like, pull her back. And I'm like, you should have maybe told her before you got there that nothing... Because, like, if she walked in with her clothes on, she would die. Yes. So he has to tell her that nothing made can go in there. And then he tells her that, like, he'll magic their clothes over to the other side. Which means so she strips and she takes off all of her jewelry. And I just assumed when she took off her necklace that, like, she was going to get fae ears. But, nope. Nothing. But
we're getting a little bit of plot holes.
Well, we're not. It was just confusing, but we do get why later.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed that the locket was part of the disguisey thing. Because she said it did more.
Right. No, I remember now. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, no plot holes.
So she gets him to undo the locket and, like, teases him because she's naked. And he wants her, but he shouldn't. So they go into the water and, like, she dives in and he gets in more slowly. And it's like she innately knows that something's going, like, that there's some truth here, because she just asks if he wants to swim with her, and he says yes, because it's the truth. And she asks if he still craves her after last night. I'm like, how do you know that he's going to tell the truth here?
Yeah.
And he says yes. But then he asks her the same, and she has to say yes. So this is when I'm like, oh, she should put it together now that they have to tell the truth. But before that, I was like, why is she asking questions? Like, why does she know? And I didn't know if this was going to come back, or, like...
Yeah, like, I don't understand how she... Like, I wonder if it's just, like, her fayness. Like, maybe... Maybe, like, has she heard of the Crescent Shallows before?
And maybe she did. Maybe that's why. But I was just like, this is kind of... I don't know. I found it kind of weird. So, yeah. He asks if she likes him and enjoys his company. And, of course, she says yes. But she also says she also hates him.
Yikes.
Just like, of course you do. You know, classic. And she asks if he's playing because his court is in peril, like playing the game, Lennox's game. And he says yes. And then he starts, like, trying to get to the other side quickly because he doesn't want to answer any more questions. But she stops him and asks and she asks if he believes he's going to win. And I found this kind of interesting because he says that he doesn't know. And, like, if you have to tell the truth, I like that there's still some, like, wiggle room, I guess. Like, I like that he doesn't have to be like, no, I don't think my court's going to be okay, or, like, overconfident. I like that there is still that, like, it's not going to pull an answer out if you're not sure. I like that there is still a bit of, like, that. Yeah. So I did kind of enjoy that they put that in there. And then she asks if he wants to touch her right now, and he says yes. And she opens her arms, and then they just, like, kind of have, like, a cute moment where they just, like, dance together.
Which I found weird.
And in the water, I found weird, too. I'm like, it's very hard to move in water. Like, what are you guys doing? But, yeah, like, they find it very cute, and she's laughing. And she kind of makes a joke of, like, see, you're touching me, but, like, obviously that's not exactly what he meant. But he thinks, like, she worded it like a fae would, of, like, saying, do you want to touch me? And then being like, see, you're touching me. And then they pull away, and they get to the other side, and he tells her to dress quickly because he senses that Abyssus is waiting. So, Camilla's point of view, she gets dressed. And she thinks, like, Envy was, when they were dancing in the shallows, he was, like, super free, but now he's, like, all business and all back to the game, and his softness is gone. And she thinks, like, she really needs to protect her heart, and she needs to get her magic, and she needs to go home to Bunny. And she puts her jewelry back on, and she's wearing the engagement ring that he gave her. But she's only wearing it because she likes it, and after all of this, she's going to give it back to him. I'm sure you are. So he tells her to stay behind him and to, like, run back to the pool if Abyssus takes an interest in her, and not to let Abyssus touch her. And then a voice says that touching is half the fun, Prince. And Envy says that he has a gift from the Queen and holds up the vial. I don't think we ever know what the vial is.
Nope.
because Abyssus then says that it might crave company, a touch, or oblivion. And then Envy vanishes, and, like, Camilla just is completely alone in, like, an empty vastness of space. Like, there's nothing. It's darkness, but it's not like there's no ground, there's nothing. Like, she's not anywhere. She's just, like, floating in an abyss. It's just, like, I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
And she freaks out, too. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So she calls out, but nothing responds. And she's like, is that a good or a bad thing? Which is fair. So she steps forward with her hands out, and she thinks, like, this place is fear. And then she starts thinking, like, this isn't real. I'm actually in a cavern. But, like, and I thought, you know, thinking that was going to snap her out of it, but it doesn't. And then Abyssus asks her, what is reality? And if it looks and feels real, isn't it? And then Abyssus appears with an orb of light in front of her. And I can't even remember exactly how they describe him, but in my notes I said, he doesn't really look like a monster. He looks hot.
Oh.
But I don't remember exactly what they said, but that was the gist of it. And he asks her if she feels the darkness, and she says that this isn't real and make it stop. And then the cavern comes back, and Envy is telling her not to look at Abyssus and, like, don't look in his eye. And it's almost as if no time has passed for him, but she was just in an abyss for a bit. And then she immediately looks in Abyssus's eyes. And she's drawn in. I know. And then she thinks, like, there's never been anything, just the darkness. And Envy says enough and tells her to run. And she does. She tries to run away, but a shadow appears in front of her. And it's Vexley. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I will say, this scene was so weird and unhinged.
Yeah. Like, well, it was Twilight. It was the last Twilight movie, specifically. So Vexley shows up. He's got crimson eyes, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, do you think Lennox meant to put him as the prince? Did Lennox know that Vexley was going to turn into a crimson-eyed vampire?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I never even considered that.
Well, I just thought it was interesting that he has crimson eyes. And, like, obviously, we'll get to it when we get to it. So he's a vampire now. And he basically says that there was enough venom in his veins that when she killed him, he didn't die, he turned. And he wants to repay the favor now. And he tells her that procreating might be difficult, but they can try. I'm like, why?
I know, it always comes down to that.
Always. And he just says he needs an heir. Like, why does he need an heir? Like, why? Anyway, Envy says that she's his, and Vexley knows who Envy is now. Obviously, I guess he also saw the fight and all that shit. And Envy says that his brother gets testy when creatures cross his wards, and Envy ends up giving Camilla the vial and pushes her back behind him. And Envy asks how Vexley got past the wards. And Vexley just, like, attacks Camilla and bites her neck. And I'm like, shit, is this going to be something? But it's not really. And then Envy looks at Camilla, because she's hurt, and Vexley attacks him with, like, wolf-like claws and fangs, and just rips Envy's head off.
Yikes.
And I was like, oh, this is the last Twilight movie. At this exact moment. I was like, oh, that's what this is. So she throws up and she cries and she hears her name being called. And I assumed it was from Envy. And then Vexley disappears. And she's kind of confused because she's like, why wouldn't Vexley try to take her? That was the whole point of what he was just saying. She goes over to Envy's body, and then she hears her name again and a command in it, and she turns. And the world changes, and Envy is outside of a gemstone circle that she has crossed into. And she looks over, and he's just fine. He's just outside of it. And Abyssus says that she may only pass once the time has been paid. And this really reminded me of the Hunger Games, the second book, or movie, when they're in that triangle that all of the Mockingjays yell out, and it's her and Finnick.
Yes.
And like they're stuck there for the full hour. Yeah. I thought that this was going to be her having to watch Envy die multiple times until her time was paid. Like, I kind of thought that that's what this was going to be. Anyway.
Yikes.
Luckily, that's not what it was, but she still needs to pay her time before she's able to get out of this circle. So, Abyssus asks if they should take the time from the prince, and she says no. And this is, like, she runs to a wall, but it pushes her back, and, like, that is kind of the image that, like, really reminded me of the Hunger Games or Catching Fire movie/book. Abyssus asks if she believes she wouldn't be tested, and it's not the way of Dark Kings, and that then she's, like, brought back to the nothing again, so she's not, like, she's trapped, and there's nothing around. And it's complete darkness, and Abyssus says our true selves are revealed basically here, and he blinks out of existence, and while he's leaving, I guess, asks who she is and who she will become, and what she fears above all.
It's just too cryptic for me.
I know, and I don't really get the payoff of it.
No.
Just a wasting of time.
Yes, it's to...
Like, she doesn't come out as, like, her true self, or her fear doesn't come up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought her fear was going to be a big deal.
Yeah, but it's not.
But, no. So, Abyssus tells her to look deeper, and then there's nothing, but there is fear, and the darkness, like, drinks her fear, and time becomes meaningless.
Sure, yeah.
And then, after undisclosed amount of time, Abyssus says, there, they found her test. And I was like, oh, is this going to come up? That, like, they found her biggest fear, and that's going to be a thing? No. So she ends up on her hands and knees in the cave, and she's crying, and the gemstones fall so she can leave the circle. And she turns, but Envy's gone. So she calls for Abyssus and asks where the prince is. And he tells her she'll find the answers at the Twin Pillars if it's not too late. And she asks how long she was gone. And he just says a few days. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. What was the point of this? Why did it have to be a few days? I don't get it.
Me neither.
But okay. And then he says the last clue awaits. And the king left a message to solve the final clue before the sun sets or lose her talent forever. And she asks how long she has. And Abyssus says 30 mortal minutes, maybe less. And all that happens next, I don't even think I'm going to get through it in 30 minutes, let alone her. I'm summarizing it. So she runs, and then we go to Envy's point of view, and I guess we kind of backtrack a bit to what happened to him, even though I don't see how multiple days passed for him. Whatever. It's fine. So he's magically... I don't know why it had to be multiple days. It just doesn't make sense to me. Because we're not accounting for multiple days in Envy's point of view. He's just magically chained, and I guess he's been imprisoned by the pillar for these days. But as soon as they passed the ward, he was spit out here and chained, unable to get to the pillars for the clue. So we're assuming Abyssus chained him. And then Vampire Vexley is there. And I'm like, oh, I guess that was a real thing in some way.
Yeah.
He didn't pull his head off, though.
Yeah. It's like,
okay.
It's like half of it was, like, a dream/nightmare, but half of it wasn't.
Yeah. So, was she bit? Does that matter? No, it doesn't. Not. I'm going to tell you right now. Anyway, so, basically, it seems like Vexley's been with him since he was chained here, and just beating the shit out of him for days. I'm like, this could have been hours instead of days, but fine. But Envy's, like, mocking Vexley, and Vexley just says, like, he's a god now. Because, of course, he is.
Vampires. Totally different things.
And Envy, like, makes a move to get Vexley to punch his chains, hoping that he'll damage them so that he can get out. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
And then Envy says that Vexley lost the game, so, like, what the fuck is he doing here? And Vexley says that he wants Camilla because she set him free, so she belongs to him. Until he says she doesn't. I'm like, ugh. And Envy is not doing okay. He's using his magic to, like, uphold his court, and his heart is still growing. So stupid. Why did he have to lose his heart?
I don't know. Like, so, yeah, like, that whole thing of him, like, is it literally just to weaken him so that he doesn't completely decimate everybody at all at all times? Like, is that it? Is it to give everybody else a fighting chance?
But he still did just kill everybody in that arena. I don't really know the point of that. Maybe it'll come up in another book.
That's what I'm, like, it must be for plot reasons for Victoria's stuff.
Yeah, it has to be, because why?
Why else? She's laying...
Why else?
Laying groundwork for other things.
Yeah. So, basically, because he's using all of his power to uphold his court and regrowing his heart, he's struggling to heal himself right now. And the chains are also...
some sort of...
shocking him at all times, like, constantly paining him. I don't really know.
There's a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. Vexley is still just monologuing there, and we get that Vexley was playing the game for immortality. And even though he lost, he ended up getting immortality because he's now a vampire, which is kind of funny. And Envy thinks he also has an unquenchable thirst for blood now that he's not going to be able to control. So, like, if he ever goes back to Waverly Green, he's fucked because he's going to just kill people. Which is interesting, and I'm like, is that going to come up? And Vexley says he'll be even more legendary in Ironwood Forest now. I was just like, what? I don't get it. But I'm sure something will come up with this later on, and I won't remember this part of this book, and I'll be like, what are they talking about? And then Vexley says that he wants Camilla's talent to make forgeries, and I was like, oh, not her talent she lost, just like
her actual
painting talent.
Yeah.
And they'll lie and cheat and steal for an eternity.
So, like,
and then Envy's...
I feel like even though he has immortality, his ideas are still very mortal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's still thinking very small.
Yeah. Which is, I guess, like, how you would... Like, you wouldn't immediately be able to change your mindset to, now I'm immortal. But yeah, it is interesting that his plans are exactly the same as they were before. Yeah. Like, the beginning of the book, he was like, we'll marry and you'll make forgeries for me. Envy says that Camilla said no. And Vexley just says that he knows best.
Ugh.
And Envy is murderous and says women aren't possessions. I'm like...
At that time, they were.
Yeah. I was going to say earlier he said she's mine, but that was during the fight that wasn't real. So did he actually say that?
I mean, he does have possessive tendencies, like, no man will touch you.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's...
Did he say something to that effect when he was fighting the vampire prince?
I don't think he came out and said it. But yeah, it's just kind of funny for him to be like, she's not a possession. It's like you literally are trying to possess her. And of course, Vexley like punches Envy in the face and knocks him out for a few seconds. And Vexley then tells him that there are no rules about teaming up with other players. And Envy thinks that he should have killed Vexley when they were in Waverly Green originally. And Vexley starts to beat him up. And Vexley calls him arrogant for not killing his competition. And I thought something was going to come from this too, because Vexley's kind of implying that like he teamed up with other people. But it never comes back up.
Nope. A lot of stuff doesn't come back up.
I know, and I'm like, is this all going to come up in another book? And I was like, oh, is Vexley working with, like, Wolf? Like, is that going to be, like, a double cross that we're going to get or something? Like, what the fuck is going... Anyway, I don't know. And Envy's about to pass out. And then he sees a shadow creeping along the wall with a glint of silver. And Vexley says that they're going to play a game where he drains Envy and Envy regenerates, and then they do it again until Envy dies. And then he pulls Envy's arm out of his socket and bites his wrist, and Envy blinks, and then Vexley is dead. And Envy's, like, on the ground from, like, I guess, passing out. And Vexley's head is, like, rolling beside him kind of thing. And Camilla tells him to get up. And Envy thinks that this is a dream. And she rattles his chains. And he's like, no, they'll burn you too. And then she says his true name. And she says, you must get up. And then we go to Camilla's point of view. And she thinks that she was too late because Envy isn't healing. And she asks how to break the chains and asks him to help her. But he's basically passed out. And she thinks Vexley tortured him for days. Like, did he? Like, we literally got every second of Vexley torturing him, and it seemed like it didn't even take 20 minutes. I needed there to be more of, like, oh, I must have passed out for, like, 5 hours or something. Like, I don't know. I needed there to be more Vexley beating Envy, or Envy passing out, or I needed there not to have been days pass here, because there's no reason for it. Like, she could have woken up 2 hours later and him been like, you have 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Your father said you need to... Like, I don't get the point.
Like, is it just to add the effect that, like, he's been suffering for days?
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't end up mattering, so I just don't know why we did it. So we kind of get Camilla's point of view now. She waited for Vexley to be distracted by bloodlust and then beheaded him. And she thinks something dark in her, like, opened in her when she killed him. And he was trying to take what was hers, and she snapped, and she used the blade that Blade gave her. So she's got some possessiveness, too. So she drags Vexley's body and head away from Envy, and the chains burn her skin, and she looks closer at them, and she sees that there's a riddle, and there's like a 5-letter lock on it, on the chains. And I'm like, ooh, it's an escape room. And the riddle is, for some plants, mortals, and all animals too, this begins but has no end, and ends all that begins. And it goes on, but it basically just says, like, she has 3 tries or he'll die. She can't think of anything that makes sense for plants, mortals, and animals. And then she thinks, like, it could be hearts, because, like, animals and mortals have hearts, and some plants are named after hearts. But then she thinks that it doesn't make sense for the, like, second line of having no end and ends all that begins. But she's like, it's the only guess she has. So she answers HEAR, but she worries that there might be consequences for, like, a wrong answer. Like, this is a magical chain. Like, wouldn't be surprising. But she puts it in anyway, puts in heart. And then Envy just starts, like, jolting, and the chains flare brighter, and they're more painful now. It's like, great. And she thinks, like, she's going to see the game master soon as a victor, and she lets that fuel her. And she knows that, like, this answer has to be simple, but fear is stopping her from getting it. And she thinks of what they have in common. And then she thinks they're all living things. And then she thinks, like, some plants. And then she thinks of, like, all of the different kinds of plants. And she thinks of, like, annuals and perennials. And, like, some plants come back each year. So that's why it's some plants die and some plants don't. Even though, like, they don't infinitely come back every year. Perennial. Like, I think eventually they die too. It's not forever, ever. Is it?
I think.
I guess it's
taking care of it. I think they come back every year.
I guess yeah, like grass usually comes back, and like weeds come back every year. But like, I don't know. So she realizes the answer is death. But then she's like, what if I'm wrong? But she just enters it, and the glow intensifies.
The answer is always love, death, life, something. Like, that's
yeah,
always the answer.
Yeah, 100%. But she doesn't read books, so she doesn't know that. So she enters it, and the glow intensifies, and then the chains shatter. And she pulls Envy into her lap, and she kisses his forehead, and he's starting to get more color. But she doesn't have much time because she only had half an hour for all of this. And I'm like, she killed Vexley. She figured out this riddle. Like, what?
How much longer we got?
Yeah, it's got to be that couldn't have been. And he said less than 30 minutes. Like, I don't know why we gave the timeline of 30 minutes.
I don't know why we gave the timeline at all. Like, why did we need the timeline?
I don't know. So then she thinks, like, she wonders if she should leave him and try to solve the clue, but then he wakes up, and he asks if they lost, and he says that she could have left him because they're almost out of time. And I'm like, she was thinking about leaving you. Like, don't take this as her not wanting to leave you, because she almost did. But she's like, of course not. Of course I didn't leave you. For fuck's sake. So now we go to Emmy's point of view, and he sits up, and he's injured, and he wonders if Camilla's okay after Abyssus, but he's like, oh, she must be fine, like, she's moving on, she goes over to the pillar, like, whatever. I'm like, are they never going to talk about the fact that she was in a nothing section for days? Because, like, that's traumatic. She apparently figured out her greatest fear or something. What?
Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, I skipped a lot of this. Not skipped over it, I read it, but like
skimmed.
Yeah, I did not pay attention because I was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna move on with my life, and I did.
Yeah, fair. So she moves over to the pillars, and the pillars are like 22 feet tall, and they're carved from shadowstone. And Envy says he's seen them once before, when Wrath had all of the princes together to leash them. And we kind of heard before, like, the Fae can use them to travel to different realms, and they don't have to go through the gates of hell. So the Fae could get into the mortal world without royal approval. So that's why they leashed them, to keep the Fae from bothering the mortals, basically.
But, like, they could still go now. They just need to ask Wrath first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously they don't like that.
Of course. And before Wrath leashed the pillars, he warned Lennox and Primrose twice that, like, to stop bothering the mortals. And Lennox just sent more of his court to spite the king. So they buried the pillars and leashed them. And Envy feels a muted power from the pillars that he didn't feel the last time he was here, which is interesting. And I'm like, is it because Camilla's there? But we never know.
Yes. I'm just gonna say yes.
Yeah, it's never explicitly stated, but like that has to be it. So he finally has enough energy to walk over, and I'm like, so that's it. That's the extent of his beatings. He's fine now. Cool. What was the point?
He's healing. He's healing already.
Yeah. So he walks over to Camilla, and she says that the carvings are different than House Sloth, but they don't really have time to marvel at it. And he thinks they have less than a quarter of an hour left. Like, so it took her 15 minutes to kill Vexley, on-chain him with the riddle, and for him to heal himself. Time doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Then we get into the story of what the fuck is going on with his court. And I'm like, you have 15 minutes, so now you're gonna, like, monologue a story? Fine.
I didn't realize how angry you were about this.
I just don't get it. It doesn't, like, why... 15 minutes is not enough time for any of these two 15 minutes pieces. Anyway, she asks what's wrong with his court. And she kind of, like, pieces together what she's seen and says that, like, they're losing their memories and then tearing each other apart. So he must be playing for an artifact to stop that. And he thinks, like, he's been holding this secret for so long. So he finally explains that his court is long-lived. So, often or occasionally or every once in a while, they need to purge memories to be able to create new ones. And if they can't purge their memories, they end up getting overloaded and they start to forget things. And she says, like, if they can't make new memories, they can't fuel their sin. And he says, if they can't fuel the sin, then they can't fuel his power. So that's why he doesn't have as much power. And he tells her he inadvertently gave up the chalice 2 centuries ago. And then when the game started, it actually, like, made his court even worse. Like, they started to devolve.
Oh, okay.
Is that the right word? Faster.
Yeah.
And he says that without the chalice of memoria, so the cup of memories, his court and his rule will weaken, and they could eventually be absorbed by a more powerful circle or sin, and that would cause a shit ton of chaos in the 7 circles and create an opening for Lennox.
Again, I don't think his brothers would do that to him.
I don't either, but okay.
I also, like, and do all, like, of the courts have to do this?
They all need, the memory thing?
I just find his reasoning weird. Like, because they're immortal, they have to purge their memories every so often. But, like,
they're not immortal.
No, they're long-living.
He just said but I think it's his power that keeps them alive. I think they're mortals. It's just his power is keeping them alive longer than they should. So because of that, they're not equipped with the mind of an immortal. So they do need to purge their memories to live longer.
But again, like, does that not, like, count for all of the people living in all the demons' courts?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I would think so.
Theoretically, wouldn't they all have to do that?
Or do the other courts not long live their courts? Do they just let them die a mortal life?
Like, some of them are demons.
Yeah, but the demons apparently aren't immortal, is what we're getting here. They're long-lived. Like, I don't know. I would assume all the other courts have to do this, but, like...
If all the courts have to do it, couldn't he borrow a cup from someone else?
Well, yeah, you'd think.
Hey, I lost my cup. Can I borrow yours?
But I guess there'd be, like, I don't want to give you the cup, because then you'll steal it and I won't have a cup, and then all of my people, like, but if he actually talked to his brothers, one of them would help him.
Yeah, and, like, also,
I'm sure.
he could very easily, like, the other prince could come over and, like, just not let it out of his sight or something. Like,
exactly.
there are ways around it if other people have similar cups.
But we don't know for sure they do, I guess. Like, I don't get it. But also, if they're not meant to be immortals and he's making them live longer, so he needs this cup, what is he doing with their other like, is he just using magic to keep all of their other organs working?
I don't know.
And I'm like, there's not enough to this. But fine, this is the reasoning. So he needs the Chalice of Memoria and the Aether Scrolls. And he actually lent the chalice to his mortal lover.
Is the worst, like, what an idiot.
Yeah. And he lent it to her so that she would be the envy of her friends on her birthday.
She drank out of it.
And she just brought it to Fairy. And it's like, what an idiot. And Lennox ended up finding it, obviously. And Camilla says that she sounds selfish. And he just says, like, aren't we all sometimes? Which, like, fair. I appreciate that. And she feels jealous, which heals some of his wounds even more, which is kind of funny. And Envy thinks, like, he doesn't care for the mortal. He just thinks selfishness wasn't her worst sin. And I'm like, oh, are we going to get more about her? We don't. That's it. And I was like, what? Why are we bringing this up? But okay.
It's fine.
So then everything's fine. Camilla asks what the scrolls do, because he mentioned that he needs the Aether Scrolls too. And he explains that the chalice has symbols and runes on it to siphon memories, and it can also grant immortality, strike down foes, or bestow infinite wealth. And the scrolls are needed to activate it. So everybody that's playing this game is playing for the one chalice because anything that any of them wanted, like, we know Vexley wanted immortality. Obviously, riches is probably what a lot of people wanted as well. So, like, the chalice could give anybody what they wanted. So it's, like, the thing. But I'm like, based on what he says now, they didn't have the scrolls, so how were they going to activate it? Or was that going to be, like, the Fae trickery if anyone else won? They couldn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? It's weird. So then she asks him why he couldn't use memory stones with his people to, like, purge their memories so that they didn't go crazy. And he just explains that, like, memory stones, you need to have a really clear memory to siphon it into a stone. So the issue was, by the time they realized that, I guess, the chalice was gone, his people were too far gone into the fog to have clear memories to purge. Yeah. So it was too late. Fine. Thank you for giving us an answer. So she asks him then who has the scrolls, and he says that he does, but he can't access them. And I was like, what? But he says he can't access them because he can't use his wings. And he says he doesn't have enough power, especially since he's going to need to fight Lennox soon. And he needs to save all of his power for that. And he tells her that he had the scrolls fused with his wings to keep them out of enemy hands. Interesting. So then he asks her truth for his. And I think, you had 15 minutes. What do you have now? 5 seconds? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't like it.
But she just, her truth, which I thought was going to be something about her, she explains the pillars to him. And, like, I don't even know what the fuck she's saying, because there's scales there, which are, like, the symbol of Libra, which cool. And then there's circles on them. One's the sun, one's the moon. The moon's heavier. And then next to that, there's, like, a satyr-type carving that is Pan. And then a half goat, half fish is representative of the sea. And then there's a constellation of Capricornus. And she points out a sword dripping blood. And she says that this is instructions on how to activate the pillar. And I'm like, this is her truth? Also, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So he goes to prick his finger, and she just says, no, it has to be her blood. And she points to the winter symbology and says that she was born on the winter solstice. And he's just like, but the pillars are older than I am. What the fuck are you talking about? How does it point to you? And she just says that there's something that she should tell him. And then the ground starts to shake, and they don't have any time.
And I also want to add that we never get this.
What?
This whole, like, so we've already established he knows she's Fae. Right?
Yeah.
Like, we've established this.
Yeah.
We never learn that, like, about, like, he's like, the pillars are older than me. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
I never assumed she was older than him.
No, I don't think she is.
So, like, I think,
spoiler for a few minutes, I think the pillars just need Unseelie blood. Because Unseelie are represented by the moon, and Seelie are represented by the sun. I think the point is the pillars just need Unseelie blood, and she's making up some excuse.
Oh.
But then she's about to tell him, but then they're running out of time, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I assume, but I don't think it's spelled out super well. So he knows that they're on the way to the wild court and thinks, like, if he can face his own demons, maybe he can have more time with Camilla and, like, if they can win this, basically. So he gives her his house dagger and says, when you're ready, let's end this. I'm like, she has enough time to spit one thing out.
Yeah.
But no.
POV, like, FYI.
Yeah, right? So we go to Camilla's point of view, and she wonders how she got here and why she hadn't tried to talk to him beforehand, and then she thinks it's fear. That's why she didn't. And she thinks her father told her fear was the force that drove all darkness and love the greatest source of power. But Camilla didn't choose love. She chose fear. And then she sees fear on Envy's face, and she wonders if he knows and is denying it to himself. And she wishes she could save him from hurt that she's unintentionally causing him because she likes him and he likes her. Are we in grade school? Ugh. And she thinks, like, nothing she did would shock or disgust him. And then she thinks, is that true, though? And then she bleeds on the pillars, and between them lights up, and she can smell the wild court, and Envy is just looking at her, and she thinks he's finally pieced the mystery of her together. Even though, in his point of view next, he hasn't. And she takes his hand, and they walk through the portal into the Unseelie King stronghold. And they won the game, but Camilla fears that she just lost. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, yeah. So, this is the thing. So, like, we get to Envy's point of view, and they arrive in the wild court, and they're spit out, like, in Lennox's garden room. And they're having a big old party. The Unseelie are all dancing, and then as soon as they notice Camilla and Envy, they start giving them, like, dirty looks. Because I guess Envy's not super popular. And, like, Camilla doesn't look discouraged or, like, cower, which Envy is proud of, because he knows that it's hard being Seelie in an Unseelie court. And we literally just she's like, oh, he definitely knows.
Yeah.
But, like...
He doesn't even know she's Unseelie at this point. Let alone...
And, like, I don't...
Her bombshell.
Like, we haven't even said it out loud that she's Unseelie. We're telling everyone now. She is actually Unseelie.
Yes.
But,
yeah,
like, he's like, oh, he thinks that she's a Seelie Fae. And he's like, oh my god, she's not cowering. She's so brave. She's just back straight, looking right ahead. And I'm just like, dude.
You're an idiot.
So she walks actually ahead of him, and he's sort of like, ooh, what are you doing? And she approaches Lennox, and Envy hopes, like, she's got a plan in mind. And he cannot, like, read her emotions at all. So, like, she's developed, she's put on the mask.
Yeah.
So she speaks to a Fae male that's standing next to the throne and calls him Aiden. And starts teasing him about terrorizing mortals with, like, carnival tricks. And Envy knows that Aiden is an unseelie prince, and she is speaking to him in a very familiar way.
Weird.
Yeah. And that interaction makes Envy start to realize something. And it's at this moment that he feels betrayed. He's like, she has not told me everything. And Lennox just says, children, enough. And Envy realizes that Camilla is not a Seelie Fae. She's an unseelie princess.
What?
So, like, this is what I predicted. Remember all those weeks ago?
Yeah.
This is what I predicted. And I love that I was right. I love being correct. But also remember how I was like, oh my god, I'm totally wrong. At the time. No, I was right. Suck it, world. Anyway, sorry. I just, So,
I like it.
Then he remembers when she nearly fainted when they were on Vexley's roof. The roof was made of iron. So, like, that's why she almost fainted. It wasn't her, like, ladylike sensibilities.
And the height, which I thought this was going to come back, and then I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Fine.
So, like, he is real pissed. And he thinks that, like, she's obviously just like Lennox and played him in every way.
Wait, 1 second. Are Seelie not affected by iron?
I don't know.
I thought they also were.
I also thought they would be. Interesting. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I just found it weird that at this point he's like, oh, it's because of the iron. And I'm like, when you found out she was Fae, you should have had this thought. Because I thought all Fae were affected by iron. But interesting. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you, Envy, for bringing back one question I forgot I had.
Well, but so this is the thing. So then he's thinking back to, like, them having sex, and he was like, oh my god, she was mocking me when she fucked me on the throne. Like, that was... And I'm like, she came a whole bunch, dude. I do not think she was mocking you.
I don't think it was... Yeah, I think she was enjoying herself and also wanted to have sex. Yeah, he really goes to, like, she is in league with Lennox immediately. And I'm like, do you need to jump to this conclusion? Is this necessary?
I mean, I do think it's a logical jump. Like, once he realizes that Lennox is her dad. Like, again, she hasn't told him anything. If she had just told him her story, then he wouldn't have made these leaps. But she hasn't told him shit all, so he has no leaps to make. Yeah. So he just asks Lennox for his prize. So then we go to back to Camilla's point of view. And, like, she hasn't had the chance to explain anything to Envy, but, like, she cannot do it right now in front of her dad. In front of Lennox. Yeah. And she tries to ask Lennox to give her her talent back and to give Envy his prize. And Lennox asks why he should. And...
Because they fucking won. What are you talking about?
And she's like, he required her to participate to get her back here. And then she's like, can you please just do this? And she's frustrated. But her saying that word please, she's like, please, I want to go home to Waverly Green. But, like, saying please to a Fae is apparently, like, the height of insult. So he gets real mad. And he's like, my daughter is pleading.
Of course he is.
Like, no daughter of mine will plead. And he's like, you want your talent back? Fine. So he changes his hand to talons and slashes the back of her head. And she immediately reverts back into her Fae form, and all of her injuries heal. What injuries? Oh, maybe, I guess the one on the back of her head.
Back of her head. Also, Vexley bit her. Didn't matter. But did he actually? Yeah. I don't know. Cool.
And then she gets all of her powers back. So we learn then that... So remember in week 2 when they get to Sloth's house? Sloth is like, hey, massage her, check for tattoos that could be hiding a glamour, and he's like, I didn't find any.
And we were like, it must be the locket.
Yeah. Turns out there was a tattoo. It was hiding beneath her hairline. So, like, no one would have found it.
I enjoy that.
I think it's cute.
Yeah.
It's smart.
It is.
So, I guess him slashing it destroyed it. And he reveals to Envy that she was a changeling. So, I guess they swapped her for a human, which I find weird. Why would you do that with a princess?
But they didn't.
No, they didn't swap
do that.
Her. They just... No, you're right. They didn't. I don't understand.
I think we're throwing the word changeling in, and I'm like...
She's not a changeling.
Did you actually look up what a changeling was?
Did I, or are you saying did he?
No, did the author.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is not a changeling situation. A changeling is babies being swapped out. She was brought by her mother, and we get in a little bit that her mother just... I don't know when exactly. Spoiler. Her mother just glamored her father to think that he had a child. Like, there was no swapping.
Yeah. And also, like,
so it's
usually a changeling is, like, you're right, swapped, usually as a baby, like, in the crib. Mm-hmm. They take the human, they leave the fae child, and leave it for humans to raise to cause mayhem.
Yeah, and, like, sometimes it's because, like, if the fae child is sickly... they'll switch them out to get a healthier baby, even though it is immortal, but they'll leave their sickly baby that they don't think is going to live anyway. Yeah. And then if it does live, chaos. If it doesn't, they have a baby themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I do agree with you. I wonder, did the author look up what a changeling was? Because what Lennox says a changeling is she is a fae child with human... she's fully fae, but has human sentiments. She acts human because she's been around them for so long.
Which I guess is what happens to changeling children, but that doesn't change what a changeling is.
Yes, you're correct. So he says that essentially she is not going home, and they're gonna torture the mortal out of her, and she's staying in Fairy.
The Wild Court.
Yeah. So then we sort of learn that she went to the mortal world, and now is the way she is, unlike her older brother and sister who are, like, cruel and twisted. And her younger brother, like Aiden, the one she teased, who I thought she didn't like.
Yeah.
But who is fine, apparently. Offers and says, like, she can come to my court instead of keeping her here in the wild court, in Lennox's court. And the assumption is that he also is sort of more humanoid, like he also
more soft,
grew up outside of Fairy.
Yeah,
because she didn't say, "I'm not like my other 3 siblings." She said, "I'm not like the older 2." And Aiden is younger than her still.
Yeah.
And Lennox says no to that suggestion, that she's going to stay here with him, and he asks for her locket. And she refuses to give it to him. She's like, no, Mom, like, left it to me. It's the one thing she left for me. But one of his guards comes over and, like, forcibly removes it. And then when Lennox gets his hand around it, it emits, like, this glow. And she wonders, like, was he actually after her to come back, or was it the locket he wanted this whole time?
Yeah, which was a surprise to me.
Yeah, because a part of me wanted to be like, oh, he wants her, like, she's, not wants her like that, but, like, she is his daughter, she's, like, part of him, he wants her here, take her sort of rightful place. But the way it insinuates here is that, like, no, he only wanted the locket.
Yeah, which was just a surprise to me. I was like, aren't there easier ways?
You would, well, but remember, as part of the game, that human guy wanted her to give him the locket.
You're so smart.
So, like, that would have been the easiest way.
Yeah, you're true.
So then he calls out to Wolf and says, come and claim your prize. And he approaches. And Wolf is acting like cruel, like a normal, like an unseelie fae.
Yeah.
And he acts like he's gonna take her and she'll be his prize and she'll be his mate whether she wants to or not. But she knows that this is an act, that Wolf is not like that. Like, that this is just the way he acts at court.
Yeah.
The big issue is that Envy doesn't know this.
Yeah.
And, like, they are sort of stoking his sin and making him jealous. Even though he's pissed at her right now, like, he still doesn't want Wolf to have her.
Yeah.
And she knows that Lennox is doing it on purpose because she knows that, like, he's intentionally waiting to give him his prize and not telling him to go. He's like, they're like, you can go unless you want to stay and watch and stay for the show being her being tortured and potentially raped for everybody to see.
Yeah. 100%. That's the torture at this point, is going to be rape. Like, okay.
And that makes Envy explode. And he, like, blows one of Lennox's guards across the room and kills him, I think. And Lennox doesn't even bat an eye about it. He's like, oh, maybe you're more tired than I thought. You want a sweet and you could stay for a bit?
I know, I thought he was going to be like, oh, there's something here, I should exploit it.
And maybe he will. But I was also like, they're in fairy. Like, what about fairy time? Like, what if you get caught up and it's like one night, but it's like 3 months back at your court? And like, that was my
Doesn't matter.
I was like, oh my god, he's trying to draw this out so that Envy's court just weakens and weakens and weakens over time. But that doesn't come up either.
No.
So Envy is like escorted to his room. And Camilla knows that this game was started to get her to come back to the Wild Court. And that Envy's court has really paid the price. And, like, essentially is the reason why their court is spiraling. It's because she was in Waverly Green. And she knows that he's not going to forgive her for that.
Yeah.
So, we go to Envy's point of view. And he's pissed. Like, super pissed. Because, like, he's having this war inside of himself. Because one side hates Camilla because he thinks she played him. The other side is, like, doesn't want her to be mistreated. And, like, wants to get her out of here. And he says, like, it was harder to turn and be escorted to the room and leave her in the throne room than expected. And he just starts making assumptions as to why she's playing along. Like, why she played along with him. And he was like, oh, it was probably to regain her full power. But then he's like, but she didn't want to paint the Hex Throne for me. Like, she said no the first 2 times. So, like, he was like, why would she do that if she wanted to regain her full power? And he does know that she desired him. Like, he knows that she could not fake that. So he just can't figure out, like, is she my enemy or is she not my enemy? And he tried to just think of, like, the facts that he knows about her. So he knew that she loved Pierre, who was not her father, but had not called Lennox father. She calls him Lennox. To his face.
Yeah.
But did call Pierre father. So she was like, so Envy is like, okay, well, she loves that guy. So he also was, like, grateful that she came all this way with him, but also he's annoyed, like, she didn't tell him that her power had been taken. And, like, he is genuinely hurt by her betrayal, he calls it. And he's like, that's weird for me. Like, for me to be affected like that.
Feelings? What are these? It's like, not that everything has to come back to it, but it does. It's like Madalena in Gallivant, when she starts in the second What is this feeling? Is it a feeling? That song?
Yeah.
Love it. Go watch Gallivant.
So Wolf then comes to the door and essentially tells Envy that he does not like him, but Camilla does. And he starts, like, goading him and talking about what she's like in bed and how he'll have her again after Envy leaves. And calling her, like, she is my princess. And Envy is just getting so angry. And the room is, like, covered in frost. And eventually he snaps and he's like, no, Camilla is mine. She belongs with me.
Yeah. I do like Wolf calling her his princess, because that can mean different things, right? So, true. Yeah, I kind of liked that.
Yeah. It's Fae speak.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, so Wolf is like, I will take you to her, but, like, you can't hurt her. And essentially is like, you need a plan to get her out of here. Because, like, Lennox ain't letting her go.
Yeah, and he's very much like, you can't hurt her feelings. He's not like, I love this turd.
Yeah.
I love it.
The only thing is, like, he isn't ready to see her yet. Because he still is feeling betrayed. Like, he needs...
Yeah.
Like, he needs time to reconcile who she really is. And, like, even though he hasn't said it, he loves her. He has to reconcile who she really is and how she didn't tell him. And Wolf is... So that's what he says. He's like, I'm not ready yet. And Wolf just says, like, you don't deserve her. But also, Lennox wants to see you in 30 minutes.
Yeah, he's like, you don't deserve her, but I think she might like you.
But I also do love that Wolf sort of, like, when he's like, don't you hurt her, he's like, I'll be waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for you to fuck up so that I can have her. And I'm like...
Yeah, I love that. I love that he, like, is very so... He's
very
so unapologetic about how he wants her, but he is not going to force her.
Yeah, and I do love that he's just like, I'm going to wait for you to fuck up, then I'll swoop in, and she'll realize I'm the one. And it's, like, very much her choice. Like, he's very, and he's the opposite of Vexley. Because I did think that there was going to be more of an issue between them of, like, bullshit of, she's mine.
Yeah. But, nope. It's all good. We love Wolf. Okay. So, we're in Camilla's point of view now. And she's in her room, I guess. Like, the room she's been given.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's, like, checking out her reflection because she doesn't have her glamour now. So, like, she's sort of seeing herself as an adult fae, really, for the first time.
Yeah, that's gotta be kind of weird.
Yeah, and she says, like, she looks, like, really similar to herself. Like, maybe her eyes and her hair is a little bit more shiny, and, like, she got the pointy ears. But, like, it's not a huge transition for her. And, like, she thinks that she doesn't really want to go back to Waverly Green anymore. And I'm like, in, like, a page, you say that you do want to go back to Waverly Green. So, like, I'm sort of confused.
Yeah, and earlier she also, I don't know if that was earlier this week or last week, but she was like, I don't ever want to go back. I want to stay here.
Yeah, so it's very, like, she's very wishy-washy with her feelings, I guess, on her future. And I find Envy is also a bit wishy-washy. Like what they tell us changes.
Yes.
From, like, chapter to chapter.
Yeah.
Which sort of saddens me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she doesn't want to go back to Waverly Green, but she does want to say goodbye to, like, her bestie Kitty, and she wants her cat.
Of course.
And then she wants to, like, travel the world or something.
Okay.
And she thinks about her glamour and sort of how it wasn't her choice. And we learn now, like, a little bit of her history about how her mother kidnapped her and brought her to Waverly Green and, like, forced the glamour on her and essentially, like, locked away her appearance and her magic. And, like, she was happy in her little court, you know, ruling. I'm gonna assume the winter one, because she doesn't get cold.
But she was like a child, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Like, she just said she was really happy in her court, like, living her best life.
As a child.
So, and again, she doesn't get cold, because remember when they were in the Sing corridor?
Yeah.
It never explains why she didn't get cold.
No.
And why she didn't need a cloak, but, but her birthday is the winter solstice, Capricorn, that's wintertime to me, for, like, North America it is.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just assuming it's because she's a winter fairy and, like, used to the cold.
I know. I just
made that connection, too.
Was she a child ruler?
I would think.
Like, I guess. Fine. Fine. If we're doing that, fine.
Even if she wasn't actually ruling it.
Yeah.
Like, she was probably living there.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, she also, like, didn't really know why her mother kidnapped her. Because, like, she wasn't even the youngest kid. Like, Aiden was younger than her. So, why choose her?
Yeah.
But she does know that Lennox has, like, been trying to convince her to come back ever since.
Mm-hmm.
We also learned that, like, we've been calling her Primrose, but her name is, like, Primrose.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Apparently used magic to glamour Pierre, like her not real father, but her father. Mm-hmm. Into, like, glamored him to have all of these memories of her being pregnant and Camilla being born and, like, them doing all these things. So, like, he got all these false memories. I think it said she was 6 when she was taken, so pre 6 years old, all those memories were fabricated. Mm-hmm. But, like, Camilla did love him.
Yeah, and she still calls him her father, and she doesn't call Lennox dad. Mm-mm.
Yeah. And she thinks that, like, her first real choice that she ever made on her own was choosing to stay in Waverly Green after he died and run his gallery.
Yeah.
And, like, it was Pierre that taught her all about, like, vampires and demon princes and not to trust fairy and, like, how fairy deals work and fairy speak and stuff like that. Like, he taught her that. It was not her mother.
Yeah. Even though she should have.
Yeah, for sure. So, Wolf comes in, and he, like, checks her out, because she's wearing this, like, revealing dress. But it's in a real deep green color. Like, it's Envy's color.
Yeah.
And her and Wolf both know that it's gonna piss off the dad. And I'm just thinking, like, while I appreciate her rebelling, I feel like it's not a great idea.
Yeah, I agree.
And, like, Wolf does think that Envy is an ass. And that's he's like, the guy's an asshole. But she's like, no, I should have been honest the closer we got. So, like, he's trying to make her feel better about the lies and trying to be like, the fact that he is not talking to you makes him an ass. Like, he should forgive you. And her just being like, his feelings are valid.
Yeah.
And, like, I appreciate that she has someone championing her in her corner. Because, like, she's obviously not championing herself. She's championing Envy. So it's, like, it's important for him to have someone to champion him. Mm-hmm. But I also think it's important for someone to champion her.
Yeah.
And right now, that's not Envy. Because he's upset.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Wolf says, your dad wants you, takes her back to the throne room. And he warns her to play his game or things will go real bad. They go real bad.
Yeah, but she plays his game. Well, she should have changed her dress, too.
Marginally.
Yeah.
So she gets to the room, and it's just Lennox and a bunch of guards. Like, he dismissed the entire court, and he's got an easel set up, and, like, there's paint, and he's like, you're gonna paint the locket and the portal key together. And she's like, thinking in her head she doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So she sort of, like, tries to deflect or, like, make time, like, kill time.
Yeah.
Although I don't know why. Like,
really, though.
It's not like you're counting down to something. It's not like that half hour is still going.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, how should they be painted together? And he's like, they need to be bound together with a chain and a rope and a ribbon of silk. So she's like, well, I know how I'm not gonna paint them. And she's like full on gonna rebel and not paint them that way.
Yeah.
So again, playing her dad's game, not really.
Yeah, I guess. But she doesn't say it.
No, but I guess he can see that she's thinking it.
Which just means...
Or, like, see it on her face or something.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Because, like, Faye can't lie, right?
I don't know anymore. I think they can in this world.
But I thought it said earlier that Faye can't lie.
I don't know. Because I thought Envy was talking about it in the first week, and he said that they made up that they can't lie so that mortals would trust them.
I thought that was him, though. I thought that was demons.
Yeah, but demons can't lie, but they can't lie.
Oh.
Because he did a spell so that he can now lie.
Right. Well, then I don't know. I got nothing.
Yeah, me neither.
Anyway, so she's, like, thinking, I'm definitely not going to paint it that way because, you know, I don't want him to have whatever he wants. But then he sees that on her face and says, if you don't paint this my way, I'm going to destroy the Cup of Memoria. And essentially that will destroy Envy's court because he needs it in order to restore them. And she knows that. And she's like, well, I can't let his entire court go away.
Yeah.
So she paints it. And the two objects... This is the part I don't really understand. So, like, she paints it.
Yeah.
And it... After she's done painting it, it, like, blows her back from the painting.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's... A new object is created. But, like... What I don't understand is, they had the physical locket, they had the physical key.
Just get some silk ribbon and a chain.
Well, so this is what I mean. Well, and I guess, like, did the painting come to life and create this locket key thing, like this new amalgamation? And does the locket and key still exist separately?
Honestly.
Or did her painting them that way make them magically fuse together? Like, is there a duplicate now that is them fused? Or did the originals fuse together?
And we'll never know.
We won't. And I don't know why it's important to me, but it is.
No, I know. It's not... And maybe it won't... I can't imagine it coming up in another book.
No, I feel like it wasn't explained super well.
Yeah.
And, like, maybe that's just partly me, but I found this whole section very chaotic.
Yeah, I just don't understand why she had to do that. Like, couldn't he have literally just gotten the silk ribbon, the chain, and put them together? Because, like, her magic, like, or are they replicas? Because her magic is supposed... Like,
it's supposed to, like, paint things into existence.
Yeah, and it got the Cursed Throne, but the Cursed Throne is an object that already exists. So
yeah.
Did it
displace... duplicate it?
Yeah.
Like, is it a duplicate of it, or is it the thing transported somewhere to them?
We don't know anything about her magic at all.
No. I would like to know more, but it ain't happening.
No, it's over.
So, she realizes that this object that was created is actually another hexed object. So, like, her mom saying, don't ever paint hexed objects.
Was
this is probably
for this
why.
reason, yeah.
Yes. So when she is, like, blown back from the canvas, she miraculously lands exactly on a metal floor. And, like, it's a cage.
Great.
So, like, immediately she is caged. Lennox, like, locks the door and, like, suspends the cage over the throne room.
A lot of suspension of cages these last 2 months in books.
Yes. What happened in the last one? I forget.
The chick was in the Rat King's place and was suspended in a cage.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, so, look, I already forgot that book existed.
That's fair.
So, her being suspended obviously made her pissed. She's like, let me out.
Yeah,
and Dad's like,
she did what he wanted. I don't even understand why this is happening.
Yeah, so she's like, I did what you wanted, let me out. Or she actually said, I did what you asked, let me out. And he says, did I ask, or did I give you a command as king? Like, are you not one of my subjects? So, like, I guess he's pissed, one, that she sort of seemed to be a little hesitant to follow his command.
Yeah.
But then also, he's pissed because he's like, I asked you to come home twice, and you said no. So, like, you should have came home the first time. And, like, she is fuming because she's like, dude, I didn't leave willingly. Like, you're forgetting that Mom kidnapped me.
Yeah.
She was like, I was 6 years old. Like, it was not her choice to go. Mm-hmm. But he is not taking that into account.
Yeah.
And she's like, she just thinks that, like, she feels like a pawn between her parents. And, like, fair point, man. It's like when divorced parents argue.
Yeah.
Except these two aren't divorced.
One just disappeared with the child and then disappeared from the child. It's like wild. Yeah. Wild times.
It is. So she's like, dude, I didn't want to leave the Wild Court in the first place, and now I'm like a pawn to you. And Lennox is like, well, you should have shown my loyalty and returned when you were able to. So essentially he's mad that, like, and not that I agree with him, I don't, but to his point, he's saying, like, if you were actually loyal to me, as soon as your mother left, you should have returned, but you didn't.
Yeah.
But again, she had been sort of exposed to so many human emotions that she wasn't really... She was more human in her mannerisms than Faye at that point.
Yeah, because she left as a child.
Yeah. So he asks her, does she know what this key is? And he says, it's the Silverthorn key. And Silverthorn is apparently the same name as the Dark Market Street in Waverly Green.
Yes.
And I'm not 100% sure, but, like, isn't it the same name as, like, the key her dad lost? Doesn't it come up a little bit later?
Oh, I don't remember. Or, yeah, I don't remember.
Anyway, so apparently the key gives Lennox access to a realm line. Like, he's like, this is a realm line, and the Dark Market is on a realm line. And the key he has, like, makes a door, gives him access to, like, a door, and access to Waverly Green directly. And so he uses, like, a nearby mirror, and he uses the key and creates the portal, and he tells her he's going to lure everyone from Waverly Green there to the Wild Court. And he says there'll be fresh fun for the Wild Court, because they haven't had a, like, strong influx of humans lately, because they haven't been able to access the Immortal Realm.
And he's doing this because he's evil.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
He's just an evil man who likes to play with humans.
Like... Yeah, and I do think that, like, if he had... I think he's just pissed, essentially. He's mad that, like, he can't run his court the way he wants to. Mm. You know what I mean? Like, Wrath prevented him from doing exactly what he wanted to do, and he's mad about it.
Yes, for sure. I'm just like, why are you being a complete dick to your daughter?
I know, they make it seem like family means nothing to these people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after he opens the portal, a few of Camilla's acquaintances actually come through. So Lord Harrington, Lady Janelle, and another guy named Lord Walters that we don't really know that, like,
yeah,
but hung out at Vexley's parties. And Camilla just yells at them, like, run, because she knows that they're in danger.
It's so funny, though, because, like, if a portal like this opened in the human world, all of the women would be running to Fae. All of the romantic-y girlies.
Yep, guaranteed. It's like I keep seeing these TikTok videos. I don't know why I just called it a TikTok video. That's weird.
These TikToks.
Oh my god. I keep seeing these TikToks where it's like these, obviously they're like book channels. Mm-hmm. And it's these people dressed up like kidnappers. And they're like, yeah, so like I got her and like I was threatening her. And she asked me to, like, choke her a little, and I got scared, so I let her go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. Like, so funny.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go to Envy's point of view. And he's like, they staggered their arrival. So, like, by the time he shows up, the whole thing with Camilla painting and everything already happened.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
like, so it just took her seconds.
I know. It's like we went back in time a little bit. Because, like, I guess Wolf was like, King wants to see you in 30.
Yeah.
And then we go back. Because there's no way that took, like, less than 30 minutes, that whole thing.
I don't know. They have a lot happen in 30 minutes, so it could fucking be.
That's true.
The last 30 minutes took 4 hours.
That's true. Anyway, so he's thinking that, like, the Unseelie Court used to be really fun. It was, like, full of art and, like, sort of, like, sexy debauchery and, like, it was kind of like a gluttony, like, party. Right? Except, like, more. But now it's, like, super dark and unsettling, and he goes into the room and all the Fae are back. It's not empty anymore. And he sees all these captives hanging from the ceiling. Like, all these humans. Captives. And some Fae are actually, like, attacking the cages with, like, hot pokers burning their flesh. And he also sees, like, humans tied to tables and they're being carved like meat. And he looks over and Lord Harrington is having the flesh literally peeled off his bones. So, like, it's really yikes.
Yeah. You're like, you shouldn't have ran in, guys.
Yeah. Like, you should have listened when she said run. So, Wolf approaches him and essentially tells him that Lennox is, like, it doesn't really matter that Lennox is Camilla's dad. Like, he's still gonna treat her like shit. Because he doesn't care about her. And it's like, you know that Lennox is a terrible person. How could you not have figured this out before?
Yeah. Like, it's idiot.
Yeah. So,
conflict for conflict's sake.
Yeah. And, like, Lennox is attacking Waverly Green on purpose because Camilla loves it. Like, because Camilla chose it over him.
Yeah.
And, like, Envy doesn't really want to get involved because he's got his own shit.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like, he really does need to get that chalice
like, again,
and get the fuck home.
Is there not, like, did we not stress at the beginning that, like, time works differently in fairy?
I know.
And I'm like, TikTok, dude, like, let's go.
Like, days could be passing. What the fuck are you doing?
Ugh. It's ridiculous. Anyway. He doesn't want to get involved because he has his own court to fix, but he does feel bad. He's like, these humans were at my ball, like, I interacted with them, like, they don't deserve this.
Which, also fair.
Yeah. And then he sees Camilla in one of the cages, and he gets real mad. And, like, Lennox is legit heating up the bottom of it and causing welts to form on her skin because it's iron. Which is insane.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's being real stoic, she's not saying anything, and she's just, like, taking it. But he's also like, well, this is shit, because theoretically this could go on for eternity, because she's immortal. So, like, she is not gonna die from these injuries. So she's just gonna stay up there in pain until essentially Lennox finds a new hobby.
Great.
Yeah. So, it's real fun. So, he approaches Lennox and says, I want my prize. And he is, like, having to make a conscious effort not to look at Camilla and not to acknowledge that she's there. Because he knows if he looks, Lennox will see it and, like, be like, oh, you got a weakness, and exploit it.
Yeah.
So Lennox gives him the cup. And he sees a fae, like, going for Camilla to, like, poke her and tease her. And whatever it is, it sets him off. And the magic he's been holding in, because remember, he's very, like, I don't want to say weak, but, like, he has a very specific amount of magic stored up to keep his wings locked.
Yeah.
So that he can use that well to keep his kingdom, like, sort of semi-together.
But he was saving it for his fight with Lennox. He was literally like, and I'll save this until I kill him. But he just wasn't going to after he was like, no, it's her father. I'll just get the chalice and leave. And now he's like, JK.
I don't know.
Original plan, back on.
So, the magic he was sort of holding on to, that was keeping his, like, kingdom held together, that magic, like, just shatters. Mm-hmm. And his wings come out, and he kills some of the fae that were being dicks. And he grabs one of the feathers from his wings and flings it at the cage. Like, he, like, spells it. And flings it at the cage, and it frees Camilla.
I kind of love that part. I'm like, this is ridiculous, but I'm here for it.
I know. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, of course, his wings are, like, a dark emerald green.
Yeah.
So, Lennox is obviously pissed. But Envy is like, well, I'm too far gone now. I need to spill his blood. And he just randomly tells Lennox to get in the cage. And I'm like, what makes you think he's going to listen to you?
Why would he ever?
But Lennox is like, after you.
Fair.
Right? If someone said that to me, I would also say that.
Yeah.
And Lennox then just, like, fights. So they start to fight. And Lennox has this, like, moon magic. And he turns it on, essentially, and then you can't see anything in the room. Because apparently the moon magic is, like, super bright, and then he can turn it to shadow, because that's what a moon is. It's light and shadow.
Sure.
Yeah. So we go to Camilla's point of view. And she knows what Lennox's move is. And I don't really understand why. Because she was 6. Now, I know time moves differently in fairies, so she could have been 6 for, like, a really long time.
Yeah, it seems like she was. But also, if you're going to give a numerical value to someone's age, I'm assuming it's to let the reader know, like, what they are like a 6-year-old, you know? Like, if you're going to decide that fae children are 6, but they're, like, I don't even, like, that's gross. That's the other thing. Like, why are we doing this? Why are we, I don't know. If you're going to have it that it's something else,
yeah,
then explain that. And there was no explanation of that.
No.
So I don't understand.
Yeah. Anyway, so, like, she knows for some reason that Lennox's battle strategy is going to be to turn on his really bright, like, moonlight, and then turn it to shadow and sort of do, like, a strobe light sort of thing to make it hard for him to see.
Yeah. Do you think her father told her all of this in his lessons about the Fae?
I can't imagine he would know that much.
I know, me neither. But who knows?
Unless Primrose, like, put it in his head.
Well, that's another thing, too, I guess. Yeah.
Like, she could have gave Camilla knowledge of Fae through Pierre.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she, like, wants to get to Envy to sort of warn him. So she climbs down out of the cage, and she's walking by a table that has human tied on it. And the human is like, please help me. So she's like, no, I have to help. So she goes to untie her wrists. We don't know that it's Lady Janelle, though. Like, it might not be.
Yeah.
The only reason I am like, oh, could it be Lady Janelle, is because she said Lady Janelle walked in. But, like, the way it makes it seem like there were a lot of humans in there. So she unties this woman from the wrists, and then she goes down to the ankles, and she sees that the legs were whittled down to the bone, and their feet are missing. And I'm like, the fact that this woman is still alive is amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, she's like, well, this woman is dead.
Yeah.
But, like, she is planning on, like, lifting her bridal style to save her.
Yeah.
And she, like, frees her from all of the ropes, but then she dies on the table shortly after.
Yeah.
Which I, like, was shocked at the graphicness.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that is wild. That, like, her legs were just bones.
Yeah.
Minus the feet. Anyway, so Camilla's like, I need to get the rest of the humans back to Waverly Green, while Envy and my father are battling. That's what her plan is.
Yeah.
So she sees that his wings are out, and she's like, shit, he told me he didn't have enough power to summon his wings and protect his court at the same time. So she's like, he used his power to save me. And I'm like, he kind of did, but at the same time, I don't think it was 100% about her.
No, but he also was like, I'm not going to use this until I need to. And then he used it when he, like, what? He was like, he literally said he was saving this for the battle. He was saving his magic for this battle. So, like, he told her that. But it's like they both forgot it.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
So, well, that's the thing, right? Like, it does feel like they're forgetting things. It sort of is bringing me back to the trilogy. Because remember, like, how many sort of inconsistencies we sort of found. Not just in the trilogy, but, like, specifically in the last one, we were like, oh, but there's this and this. Like, there were a bunch of things we pointed out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, like, this book is written a lot better, but this part is sort of devolving. Like, it sort of feels like it's so chaotic, things are getting missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it feels. And, like, when you're reading it, it just feels super chaotic. I don't know why. I can't divulge that because I don't know. But, like, it does. Fair. It just feels chaotic.
I get that.
Anyway, so she decides she needs to help Envy because I guess Lennox is, like, holding his own. So she's like, oh no, I don't have a weapon or anything. So she's like, oh, I can use the canvas and paint as my weapon.
Yeah.
So, like, Wolf ends up finding her in the chaos, and he helps her get to the canvas. And she, like, she doesn't thank him she doesn't say thank you, but, like, she does appreciate what he's doing, because if they lose, Lennox could, like, torture him for God knows how long for committing treason. Because essentially, him helping Camilla is treason.
Yeah.
So she paints a sword made of iron, and it materializes, and she grabs it, and obviously because it's made of iron, it burns her. but she still doesn't let it go. And she goes up to Envy and Lennox, and in my head I'm like, just give it to Envy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because she doesn't really know how to wield a sword. The iron is burning her.
Yeah.
Like, what if you accidentally get Envy instead? Like, just give it to him. But she doesn't. So she just approaches them. They're grappling on the ground. And Lennox, I guess, manages to overpower him. And he gets up. So she swipes at him, like, I think once in the leg, right behind the knee. And then another time on the chest. And, like, it's hurting him, but it's not stopping him.
Yeah.
And he's like, she's obviously not a fighter. So he goes to strike her back. And Envy stabs him in the chest from behind with his demon dagger.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So then his last words to Camilla are that she is his daughter through and through. And she is shocked because she was like, shit, I thought he'd be pissed. But, like, if anything, he's actually prideful that she sort of, I want to say, like, staged a coup.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess because she went and decided to kill him, you know, it means that she is more like him than maybe he originally thought. And he's happy about it.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, she's soft like humans.
Yes. So, after he says that, Envy, like, slits his throat and Lennox dies. And, like, Camilla is shocked about him being gone. And she turns around to talk to Envy, but he is already gone. He literally pieced out, like, 5 seconds after he slit the guy's throat. It's wild. He was like, okay, bye. So she sort of takes that to mean that he doesn't forgive her, but she just sucks it up and instructs Wolf to, like, help her gather up all the humans and escort them back to Waverly Green. And she's like, and then I'm going to destroy that key so they can't open the portal anymore. But Wolf is like, oh, the key's gone. And it's like, I feel like we should be panicking more about this.
Nobody cares.
No.
At all.
So then we go to Envy's point of view. Him and Alexei are back in his court in a sparse-ish room, and they have the Cup of Memoria. And they've been trying to restore his court members with it. And they're working on some guy named Lord Alden right now, but he is not really improving yet. So, like, apparently when they tried to give him the cup initially, he wouldn't take it. So they've had to, like, resort to tying him down and making him drink, forcing it.
Yeah.
And it takes a few minutes for, like, and they're getting stressed that, like, this isn't gonna work and that they pinned all their hopes on this. And he's starting to think of, like, what else can he do to help his court. But it does finally start to work. And so when they find out that it works, they, like, keep getting other, like, members of the court and bringing them in. And it takes, like, days and days to restore everybody.
Like, one at a time kind of dealio. It's going to take forever.
Yeah. Now they do, like, they say they bring in more chairs and they tie up multiple people and start doing, like, multiples, but it still takes ages. Finally, when most of the court is, like, fixed, Alexei asks why Envy hasn't mentioned her. And, like, Envy makes up some lame excuses, like the fact that she's Fae royalty. That's no good. And they don't communicate.
That's true.
She has secrets. And Alexei's like, you don't care about that. He's like, you also have secrets. So he's like, you're just annoyed that she outplayed you and, like, got one over on you. Mm-hmm. And then he says, I guess it's all for the best because Wolf can just claim her and they'll be together and, like, just really pushes it in his face that, like, Wolf is there and is, you know, he's going for her too.
Yeah.
And then I guess Envy leaves and he's
sulk.
Yes. So then he's by himself, and he thinks back to her, and he says that, like, he saw her, like, hesitate to kill Lennox, which is why he did it first, because he didn't want her to have, like, another death on her conscience.
Also her, like, father.
Yeah.
Whether she likes him or not, still, you know.
Yeah. 100%. And, like, he also realized that she was trying to tell him something before they went through the portal, but he was like, there's no time, let's go. And he's like, oh, that's probably what she was gonna tell me. And then he says, this is another thing that really bothers me, he says that he started to figure it out before, like, he was like, oh, she was probably gonna tell me she was Lennox's daughter. But I think I had started figuring that out before then.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's false. You were literally walking in the throne room with her after you walked through the portal, thinking that, oh, she's so brave for being a Seelie in an unseelie court.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so no, you didn't have it figured out. You just want to think that you do because you don't want to be that, like,
stupid.
Dumb.
Yeah. And she was also like, oh, he's figured it out. He's smart. He figured out all these things. I'm like, he was fucking blindsided.
Yeah. He figured out shit all.
He was blindsided.
Anyway, it was stupid and I hate it. So the issue now is that he can't unsee her and Wolf, like, getting together. And especially since he sort of had that glimpse of the memory.
Yeah.
So that's
which
sort
was
of
just
not helpful.
Wolf's dick.
Can you imagine if, like, you could give someone a memory?
That'd be so awful.
Hilarious, though.
Well, it could be good, but in this specific case, it's awful.
Yeah. So then a spy, like, comes by to give him news of the Wild Court. And, like, gives him this sheet of parchment or paper or whatever, and he, like, unfolds it, and he reads it, and he just says, fuck. And we don't know what the paper says yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, this is tiring. Because we go back to Camilla's point of view again. And apparently she stopped wearing green days ago. So, like, she was wearing green for a few days, but then just was like, well, I guess it's over.
Does this mean weeks have passed in the demon world?
I don't know. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I just, like, if it wasn't necessary for the story, why do we know about it?
Yeah.
Anyway, she sort of was hoping that he would come back and, like, save her.
So were we all, girl.
Yeah. Obviously he didn't, so she's like, I'm just gonna have to move on.
Yeah.
So, she's currently in court helping her younger brother establish his rule as the new king. And then she wants to go back to Waverly Green. And I'm like, literally, 2 chapters ago, you did not want to go back to Waverly Green. So now, why do you want to go back to Waverly Green?
Because she's given up on Envy and won't be staying with him, I guess.
I guess.
The logic is...
I don't love that. I don't love that the only reason she didn't want to go back to Waverly Green is because she wanted to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
To his house. I don't...
His house. I know it's actually, like, the house is the name of, like, where he lives, but it does just sound like go to his house.
Yeah. You're just going over for a visit.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
So... Wolf is there, obviously. He's always there. And he's like, oh, I don't know if your little brother can lead. And he's sort of pushing her to step up a little bit more. But she's like, my brother's going to have to lead because there's not really anyone else to do it until Mom gets back. But Wolf's like, I think we need to double check that your mom even will come back.
Yeah.
Like, you know... She might not.
Doesn't seem likely.
And Wolf just, like, he wants her to stay and help her younger brother rule, but she doesn't want to. Obviously. And she's thinking that, like, even her court, aka what we think is the winter one, has been ruling as a principality for a while. Because she hasn't been there.
Yeah.
And she's like, Aiden is going to marry soon, and he'll produce an heir, and that child can rule over the Wild Court until her mother comes back. And I'm like, so he has to get married. They have to have sex enough to make a baby. And, like, apparently it's hard for Faye to conceive.
It always is.
Always is. Then they have to have the baby, so that's, like, another year growing the baby. Then the baby has to be... Then the baby has to, like, grow up to at least a certain age.
Yeah.
Before the baby... Like, we're talking this could be, like, 20 years.
At least. And they were literally like, oh, so she's not quite a century old because she was 6 and then came over to the human world and grew to, like, 21 or whatever the fuck she is. I think she's older than that, but, like... Yeah. So it's more likely... closer to a century.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, she's like, oh, I guess that's what's gonna happen. It's like, God, you guys are really, you know, talking in long periods of time here.
Yeah.
Wolf also sort of suggests that he actually wanted her to take the throne, not her brother. And then he suggests again that they mate. And that, like, maybe she doesn't love him now, but she'll grow to love him. But she's like, I don't want to stay here. So, like, really just a slap in the face, if I'm being honest. So then there's a knock at the door, and turns out it's Kitty and Bunny!
Aww.
But plot twist, Kitty is also Faye.
Yeah.
Which I didn't see coming.
I did not either.
And when Camilla's glamour broke, like when Lennox scratched her tattoo, Kitty's glamour also broke.
Wild.
And I guess her glamour broke when she was in her husband's presence. And he knows everything, apparently. So, like, she's still married.
I don't understand why Kitty's glamour would break at the same time. Because the mother went over with Camilla, put the glamour in her hair, and then Kitty came over later and had nothing to do with her. So how did her losing her glamour from multiple years before Kitty showed up affect Kitty?
Don't know.
Fair enough. Thank you.
No idea. Not a sweet clue. Didn't even think about it, to be honest.
I only just thought about it. But it's weird.
Yeah, I glossed over that. I was like, yeah, sure, makes sense. So apparently Kitty was the first one sent to retrieve Camilla after her mom had left. But Camilla said, no thank you. So Lennox commanded Kitty to stay to keep an eye on Camilla for all these years. And they just became real friends after that. So apparently Bunny is also, her glamour also broke. She's a little fey lioness.
Love it so much.
Yeah, I do too. Although I still think it's weird she named her Bunny.
Yeah. It'd make more sense if she named her, like, Lion.
Yeah, or something like that. And, like, Kitty is kind of hurt that Camilla, like, didn't talk to her about, like, Envy coming in, didn't talk to her about the whole Hex Throne stuff, or, like, the Vexley thing in the painting. Because, like, if anybody could have understood it, it would have been Kitty.
Yeah.
But she just admits, like, you know, she wanted to handle it herself, but then to the reader, she also says, like, she didn't want to drag Kitty into Faye stuff. Like, now that since she was out of it. And she was also a little bit worried that she would still be reporting back to Lennox.
Yeah.
So she didn't really want to tell her.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So she tells Kitty, sort of catches her up on stuff and says, like, oh, Vexley became a vampire and I killed him. And then Wolf is like, are you sure you killed him? And I just want to drop kick Wolf at that moment. Because I'm like, yes, can we just be sure that she killed him?
I wish. But of course.
Yeah, no. Apparently, vampires can survive beheading. As long as, like, in order to kill them, you need to behead them and then set them on fire until they are turned to ashes.
So Vexley's going to be back is basically the point of that. Like, there's going to be another book, he's going to come back.
Seems like it. So, Kitty also adds that, like, she heard a rumor that Camilla, like, hooked up with Envy. And she wants details, especially penis-sized details.
Because everyone's heard of his...
Yes.
Magnificent cock.
Yeah. So, like, she's about to open her mouth to answer, and she hears someone behind her just say, like, yes, I would also like details, or something like that. And she turns, and he's, like, dripping blood. But it's not ichor, like the gold stuff that's his blood, so we know that he is okay. He's just killed a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't the best look.
No. And I guess Envy just says, like, I need a moment alone with the princess. And then we go to his point of view, and we're going to learn what he wants the princess for. So, the news we're finally getting. So, we sort of left on, I don't want to say a cliffhanger, but we didn't know what the spy's intel was.
Yeah.
Now we're finding out. Apparently, there was an assassination plot on Camilla's life. Not a full-on attempt. They didn't get that far. But it was a plot. So, I guess he doesn't tell her that right away, and instead she just sees him looking at her, and she's like, oh, here's your ring back. And she's like, I'm really sorry about everything. And he thinks that he should have known who she was. And I'm like,
how?
I thought you said you figured it out. So, what is it? Do you know, or do you not know?
He never knew.
Anyway, he thinks to himself that, like, when he told her the story about the mortal woman that was taken by Lennox, he could see her face sort of change, and he should have known at that moment.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, a tear rolled down her cheek, and she said sorry, which Faye don't really do. But she was apologizing for her father, and, like,
yeah.
not just being empathetic.
I guess. I forgot that he actually had a reason here. Yeah. I thought he was just being like, fine.
It's not a great reason, though.
No.
So, he just asks, and it's a terrible opening line, and it's not actually his opener, but, like, he's like, do you know whose blood is on my wings?
It's kind of funny.
And she's like, I don't know.
Why would I know that?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's your brother Onyx's. And some of his guards, too. And she's like, what the fuck?
What are you doing? You can't just kill people.
Yeah, she's like, dude, you could have started a war. You killed him. But he's like, relax, your brother's not dead. He did
what are you trying to say?
But this is the thing, he's like, oh, it's fine. I locked him in the same cage that you were locked in. But I spelled it so no one can hear him, and he can't speak to anyone. So essentially, he's just not even real at this point, which is ridiculous. And essentially, there's no way for him to escape. And he's in prison for eternity. Because the assassination plot was his. Yeah. To kill her. And I'm like, why? Like, what does she... Like, why do you need to kill her and not your brother that has taken over as king? Like, what does she have to do with it?
Yeah. I don't get it.
Like, I think it's a convenient, like, this is why I came back, because I had to save you from an assassination attempt.
Oh, definitely.
But I don't like that. Like, I would have liked him to have come back just for his own, because he realized that, like, he loves her and he doesn't care who she is.
Yeah, I just fucking words. Why aren't they letting the older siblings rule here? Like, wouldn't they have first choice of ruling? I get that they're, like, bad too, but, like, why does she and her younger brother get to make the decision?
I guess because they were there and they were a part. Well, she was there and she was a part of the killing of the dad. She was a part of the patricide.
I guess, but I'm like, obviously there's going to be some issues between the siblings. This is expected. Envy should take over rightfully because he's the one that killed him. Like, if that's the rules that are going by. I don't know.
I don't think they are, though, because if you need an heir to take over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't really I just was like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. So, she's not really outraged that he put her brother in a cage. Or that the brother was going to assassinate her. But she's like, my mother will be so angry when she hears about this.
Yep.
It's like, girl, she's been gone for 10 years and you haven't heard from her. I don't think she cares.
Yeah. It really is very reminiscent, and I know I hate that I keep bringing up Harry Potter, but it's just like, my father will hear about this.
Yeah.
Funny.
Mm-hmm. And Envy's like, girl, my spy's been looking for her for ages, and they can't find her, and they don't know, like, what she's up to. So, like, don't pin your hopes on her, like, showing up, because Envy's like, I don't think she will. And he's like, do you need to grab anything before we go? And she's like, what do you mean?
Also, she should have a choice.
Also, it's just funny that it is very much, like, out of the blue.
Yeah.
He's like, 1 minute they're talking about an assassination attempt, and the next minute he's like, get your things!
You're coming home. And she's like, I don't have a home anymore.
But, like, the cute thing, too, is then she's like, what do you mean? He's like, do you have anything sentimental you want to grab? And then he grabs her hand, and he's like, you're sentimental to me. Which I low-key loved.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then he portals both of them back to House Envy. Or before he does, she's like, what about your rule? Like, the one-night rule. And he just says, fuck the rules, you're mine.
Wow.
And I love that. So, like, before they go, she says, like, the only things I need are Bunny and Kitty. And so she goes to tell Kitty that she's going back to House Envy. And she grabs Bunny, and Kitty's like, I've got family here, I want to see them, I haven't seen them in years, so I'm going to stick around for a bit and see them, and then I'll be bye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so you're going to move to House Envy, like, what about William, your husband? Are we just leaving him?
Just glamour him.
To wallow, like, did you not love him? Like, you married him.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's not a terrible idea to figure something out with him.
Yeah, you'd think.
So then we have like a sometime later sort of a moment. And they're having a party because they're engaged.
What? Who won the bet? Sorry, I know it's coming up, but
Yeah. So they're having a party to celebrate the engagement, and his kingdom is restored back to full glory. Everybody is on display wearing, like, their best shit, to, like, show off his court.
Yeah.
And, like, we sort of get that him and Camilla have sex constantly.
Yeah.
Like, constantly. They are,
no
like...
No breaks, no chill.
They are like bunnies. They're rabbits. And, like...
Not like the lioness.
Well, like, Envy's like, we literally have sex on the throne every single night. And, like, they've had sex in all the rooms. And, like, they even, like, they're having sex, like, they don't even care if people, like, come upon them.
Yeah.
Like, they are not demure at all. They're not demure, not mindful.
Yeah.
And he's thinking that, like, he's super happy and he's excited about, like, all the adventures they're gonna go on and everything they're gonna do together. And, like, he zones out for a quick second. And, like, he's talking to his brothers. And he zones out and Gluttony has to, like, snap him back in. And Gluttony is like, oh my god, you're worse than Wrath. And Wrath is, like, the worst. He's so in love, it's disgusting. And so, like, all the boys are there, and they're all teasing each other. But Greed is not in attendance tonight, because apparently he's dealing with a problem at his gambling room. And I'm like, is this foreshadowing for something that's going to happen in his book? Like, it sounds...
Yeah, must be. Maybe it'll start from the exact same night.
Maybe. So, Envy, like, leaves that conversation and he goes down the hall and he finds Pride, who's, like, drunk as a skunk. And he asks, like, Luke, what happened? And I'm thinking Luke is short for Lucifer because he's Lucifer.
Oh, yeah.
That's my thought.
Like
and he just says, Cersei won't tell me anything. And so, like, this is sort of a major... This whole section is a callback to the first trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Because sort of the underlying storyline in the first trilogy was obviously, yes, Emilia and Wrath, like, their sort of love story. But it centers around Wrath trying to break a curse that was put on them. That had to do with, and, like, the way that they were trying to break it was by someone agreeing to marry Pride. He needed a wife. And so, like, somebody was going around killing the women that agreed to be his wife. And Emilia and Wrath were trying to find out who.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't connect even though they're supposed to at all, but they do. So we learn that actually Pride isn't trying to find a wife, he's trying to find his wife. He's already married. And he's married to a witch. And Cersei is that witch's mother. Like, so this is his mother-in-law. And she knows where the missing wife is. So, like, his wife, Lucia...
I think so.
Lucia. Apparently she left in the middle of the night. And Cersei knows where she is. We also know where she is because turns out she's Emilia's best friend growing up, Claudia.
Of course.
But she took a memory wipe potion so she won't remember Pride at all. Or her former life as Lucia. So her name is Claudia now. Because
she was heartbroken.
Yeah. So, Cersei obviously knows that she's living in that town where Emilia lived. But she won't tell Pride. And Pride has been essentially torturing her for this information, and she won't tell him. So, Cersei, we know, is, quote-unquote, the first witch. She's actually the one that cursed Wrath and caused him to lose his wings and everything like that, too. So Pride obviously doesn't know what happened to Lucia. He has no idea, like, was she kidnapped? Was she imprisoned? Like, is she dead? I don't know.
Yeah.
And Cersei refuses to tell him because she did not want them to be together in any way, shape, or form. And Envy asks if Pride wants Vittoria. And he's like, how dare you ask? Like, how could you even think that? Or something to that effect. He says, like, you should know the answer to that question or something. And Envy... So, part of the reason why we've heard that Lucia left is because apparently she heard a rumor that Pride slept with Vittoria. So she got sad because he cheated on her. So she left.
Yeah, and the first witch kind of set up so that she would find that out. She was like, got Vittoria and Amelia to
play off
seduce them, and
yeah. So Envy says, like, oh, I heard a story that you didn't actually hook up with Vittoria. And he's like, I don't know why you would let your court and your wife think that. But, like, it must be because of some sort of magic that Cersei cast. And Pride doesn't really deny that. He's more like, how do you know that? And he's like, I've got my spies. And Envy said, like, what if you found out that Lucia had moved on and was happy? Like, would you interfere with that happiness? And Envy's like, would you ever hurt Camilla? So, like, we're really getting that, like, Lucia is Pride's, like, Roman Empire. Like, he is... And he does seem to be wallowing.
Yeah.
And it's been years. Like, it's been a long time. And he is still wallowing. So he hands Pride a folded scrap of paper. And I'm assuming it's Lucia's location. And tells him not to screw it up. But he also says she doesn't remember anything. And Pride is like, this is hope I didn't have before. Like, I'm going to go see her and I'm going to get her back, regardless of if she remembers me or not.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be a fun book because it's going to be like, he's going to have to
make her fall in love with him again.
Yeah. Which is fun.
Yeah. But it's sort of similar to Raph's book, though. Because he was in love with her that whole time. And she didn't remember her. She didn't remember him, so she had to fall in love with him all over again.
I guess it's just like a different point of view of that book. Because we didn't know that at first. No, but yeah, that's a good point.
So Pride leaves, like, and I'm like, are you going right now? Like, it could be late. So he leaves. Lust comes in, and I guess overheard sort of that exchange, and he tries to make a bet as to whether Pride's gonna choose Lucia or Vittoria. Lust thinks he's gonna choose Vittoria, and Envy's like, no, it's Lucia. It's always been Lucia.
Yeah, 100%.
So Lust also lets slip, like, oh yeah, maybe so, but we need to get Vittoria, like, we need to find her someone to keep her busy, essentially.
Why?
So she doesn't cause chaos.
I guess, but I don't think having a husband is magically going to make her stop causing chaos.
Probably not. But then he's like, oh, we could throw Blade at her because he's, like, a vampire prince.
I kind of like that idea.
I do, too. But then, like, Envy's like, no, he already told me he's going to choose, like, a vampire princess from, like, one of the families. But Lust lets slip that Blade might choose another queen. And he says, like, he has a thing for the true death. And I'm like, as in, like, he likes a little kink? Like...
Yeah, what does that mean? What are you trying to say?
Like, does he like flirting with the possibility of death? Like, does he have an obsession with the true death, aka Vittoria, because she's got this death? Like, what's his jam?
Yeah, and being a vampire, like...
Hard to die.
Interesting, yeah. Is he just suicidal? That's so bad. But yeah, obviously, I think we're setting up multiple stories here.
Yeah, we're definitely setting up several books. And
which is fun. Sorry.
No. I'm just going to say, like, I also sort of skipped over it because there were so many notes, and, like, I was getting overwhelmed with how much I had to say. But, like, I sort of skipped over that, like, Gluttony is annoyed, and Envy's like, it probably has to do with the fact that reporter is not here.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, that is the next book, is Gluttony and the Reporter. So, like, they made sure to, like, plug that book as well.
Yeah. But I'm excited, because earlier when we were talking about Blade, I was like, oh, I really want his book, but if he marries...
Victoria.
If he married a vampire person... we never get any information. But if he's going to go for Victoria, it might be a big part of Pride's book, or she might get her own book.
Yeah,
because
that's
she's a goddess of death. So, like, that's exciting.
So we go to Camilla. Oh, so I guess Camilla, like, finds them, and she's like, stop scheming, and then, like, brings them back to the party. Then we get her point of view, and it's, like, some more time later. It's indeterminate. So Envy told her during breakfast that he had a surprise for her, and she thinks, like, he's been super romantic with her the past, like, little while. You know, the persona he gives off to everyone else is not the way he's been. Like, he's really trying to, like, court her and woo her.
Yeah.
But there's been lots of sex.
Of course.
And she's like, they're insatiable for each other, essentially. So he brings her to an arched door with wisteria vines, and then he hauls out the key that Lennox had made her paint. And he says, like, I took this because I wanted to keep it out of Lennox's hands. And he opens the portal door, and it actually leads to her father's studio. So he brought her home. So she puts, like, a rudimentary glamour on, goes, speaks with the staff, and he's like, now, if you want to come here and run your dad's gallery during the day, then you can do that, and then we can go home at night.
It's her happily ever after.
Yeah. Her not having to choose.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you would come with me? And he's like, yeah, like, the place grew on me, too. So she's so happy that they have sex again. So then the next day, he tells her about another surprise that he forgot about.
So just, I hate to go back because I know we're getting long.
Yeah.
But, so the mortal world and the demon world have different amounts of time. So time passes slower in the demon world. So it's like, he says at one point that they can spend their days there and then their nights in Envy. And I'm like, but time doesn't work like that.
Well, I know, and it's sort of the issue of you can't have it both ways. You can't have, like, this huge time differential between the two, but then have the time be the same when you want it to be the same.
Yeah, which kind of feels like it's happened twice now in this wrap-up.
Yeah.
So it's confusing.
Now, at the same time, it could just be they'll spend the day in Waverly Green.
Like, and then, like, the evening day, and the night.
And then, like, whatever they get back to in the demon world, they'll deal with it when they get there. You know what I mean?
It could be. It just, I felt like it was confusing.
It is. So, the next day, he's telling her about another surprise that he actually forgot because he got so distracted by all the sex. And, like, we're talking, like, 6-7 times a night.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So, he brings her to his house, and he brings her to a special room, and he's got a whole new studio set up for her to paint in. And he wants her to be comfortable in their mansion. And he says he doesn't want her to feel pressure to rule. And he, like, thinks about how she keeps getting letters from her brother asking for help in ruling, and she just ignores them. And I'm like, that's not kind. Like,
it's your younger brother. You killed the leader, or
yes,
you orchestrated the leader's death. Like, you should have some sympathy here for your brother.
She's just, like, shirking all of her responsibilities. And, like, again, I understand she was taken as a small child, so her responsibilities are sort of like, okay, like, maybe she doesn't have them super ingrained in her. But, like, her little brother is literally being like, I can't do this, I need your help. And she's like, bye!
No thanks, that's not what I want.
Yeah, I'm gonna go have sex again, okay, bye.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, it's just a little bit, like, I don't know, self-centered?
Yeah. Agreed.
So they have a nice evening planned, and turns out he's got this, like, canvas set up on the ground, and there's a bunch of paints, and the whole point is for them to have sex on it. So they do,
yeah, because he had this fantasy at one point.
Yeah, so they do. And then after they're done, and apparently they do it a couple of times, when they're done, I guess they're trying to figure out where to hang it. And she's like, I have the perfect place for us to hang it. So then she goes into Envy's room, and he's got a giant painting of himself on the wall, like on the ceiling, right above the bed, and it's him naked on a horse doing something.
Yeah. But it's the one we've heard about a lot.
Yeah.
It's the one that he, like, sent a replica to Amelia or something. Like,
So she was like, well, I know what painting we're replacing. And they replaced that painting with the canvas of them, like, all over.
I'm like, is there actual, like, is there a butt mark on the painting? Because, like, that's kind of what you're hoping for,
yeah,
isn't it?
I mean, I think that's the goal there. Butt
yeah.
mark. Yeah. So then they tell each other they love each other, and, like, they're super happy, and that's the end of the book. It's just them living their best life all happy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
We made it.
I liked it.
I did too. I did find the end devolved a little bit. It's almost like you could tell that the author was like, okay, I'm almost done.
Gotta wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there were a few things, like, obviously this week, I think the thing that bothered me the most was the half hour that took 10 years.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
And, like, him, oh, I knew all along. Oh, I wish I knew. Oh, I didn't know. Like, make up your mind. Did you know or did you not know?
Well, and her being like, I'm going to go back to Waverly Green. No, I'm not. Like, I understand some indecision, but don't, like, you can have indecision. You don't need to have it 1 second she's saying she is, 1 second she's not. That's not indecision. That's just weird writing.
Yes. It's like forgetting what the opinion is.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, it's, like, it was a good book. I do have the second one. I'm probably going to read it eventually. Hopefully soonish.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to, like, I'm interested in the other stories. I like that, like, we keep getting hints on what's going to happen in the next ones. And, like, we know Vexley's going to come back because, of course, he is. He's got to. And then, like, this gluttony story, it's like, are we going to hear anything about Pride trying to find
Claudia/Lucia?
Yeah, during that, or, like, are we going to have to wait to hear about that? Like, there is a bunch of stuff that I want to know, so.
Yeah. And these were definitely they were better written than the trilogy.
Yeah. And, spoiler for the trilogy, she gets her power back.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand her power, though. And I'm never going to understand it, and that is fine. But I don't understand it.
No. But it's okay.
So, yeah. That's the book.
Yep.
That's where we are.
It is.
So, that wraps it up for this week and this month. If you want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, please reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread. And coffee.coread on TikTok.
So, next week, we're going to be reading a new book because it's February, so it's lovey-dovey month, so we wanted to read something that's lovey-dovey. And we don't actually know if this book is lovey-dovey, but it has to be.
I've read it before.
Oh, okay. It's definitely lovey-dovey.
Well,
okay.
She's just a lovey-dovey author.
It's half lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
So we're reading Mate by Allie Hazelwood, which is the sequel to Bride, which we did before.
We did do it.
We are going to be reading chapters 1 to 10, So make sure to follow along, and if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you on the next page.